It's time to remember that. With Kyle Sandel.
Presented by Matt Larson, Farm Bureau agent, located downtown Midland. So over the weekend, we got to see the Lions play in their second preseason game, and some unfortunate circumstances ended the game early. It sounds like Maurice Norris is doing well, which is super good to hear. But I want to talk about what we saw from the rookies early on in that game, because we did get to see both the Lions' first and second round picks in action, Tyleik Williams and Tate Ratledge. This came as a little bit of a surprise to me because the Lions have been pretty clear on their stance on preseason with their starters ever since Brad Holmes and Dan Campbell have taken over. The starters just really don't play in preseason. A lot of teams will throw out some of their starters for a drive or two, but the Lions really consistently haven't. Tyleik Williams, Tate Ratledge, both going to be starters. But with them being rookies, they obviously got a little bit of action in this game against the Falcons. And man, I want to talk about Tyleik Williams. He is going to be a problem. I think I'm already ready to declare that Brad Holmes has done it again. Was out there for nearly every play during the first quarter as well defensively, was stuffing the run, was getting double-teamed a ton by this Falcons offensive line, and still was able to make an impact. With Aleem McNeil going to be out for at least half the season, potentially more, probably near Thanksgiving is when we'll maybe get a return. Tyleik Williams is under a lot of pressure to perform right away as a rookie, but from the glimpses I saw from him this weekend, I'm fully confident that he's going to be able to do it. Remember that. Presented by Matt Larson, Farm Bureau agent, located downtown Midland.
I'm Sarah Stockford, host of 100.9 The Mitt Success Suite, a podcast highlighting the most inspiring female leaders across the Great Lakes Bay region. This month, we spoke with Allie Huntoon, the director and founder of Allied HR Solutions and Allied Group Fitness.
Lean on people I trust to help me get through things too. If I know that I'm overwhelmed or I need support with something, I usually try to reach out. Sometimes I'm still trying to do things all myself. Yep. And that's a learning curve too. Delegation is your friend.
Yep.
I'm learning that.
Yeah. Something I definitely do.
So I think it's leaning on your team. I think it's putting things into perspective. Even though HR is very important and we have things all the time that come up with terminations or discrimination or harassment.
Listen to the full interview with Allie on YouTube on 100.9 The Mitt. Subscribe and hit the notification button to be alerted when new episodes drop. That's Success Suite with Sarah Stockford.
At Scott Family Dental, they don't just care for your teeth, they care for you. Dr. Brandon Scott, a Michigan State graduate and Midland native, specializes in preventative, cosmetic, and restorative care. But what truly sets him apart is his commitment to building personal connections with every patient.
I value my patients as unique individuals and strive to make the best care decisions for you. I will always be honest and open regarding your care. That is my promise to you and anyone I treat.
Scott Family Dental. Let's bring out your best smile together.
From the Blazy Electric Studios, this is Sports Radio 100.9 The Mitt, WLUN, Pinconning, Bay City, Saginaw, Midland. Michigan sports aren't just a game, they're a way of life. And now we've got a show dedicated to die-hard sports fans like you. Hosted by a guy who's borderline obsessed with the wins and losses of all your favorite teams.
He's crazy.
Every weekday morning from 9 to noon, Ben Bosscher brings you the talk that matters. The teams, the stories, and the players you care about most. This is the Ben Bosscher Show, built by Bresky Siding and Building Repair.
Remember that.
Hello! Hello, 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 hello! Happy Monday! Everyone here in the Great Lakes Bay region, happy Monday! Everyone watching on YouTube as well.
Oh, yeah.
That's a new one. All right, want to welcome everyone into the Ben Bosscher Show. I'm Ben Bosscher, Kyle Sandel behind the glass. As always, here to get you through your week. Man, we've got a lot to get to today. Tigers, Lions. We'll get to your Detroit Tigers, who had a nice series against the Angels at 10 o'clock, okay? But I do want to kick things off with this Detroit Lions team. I know it's only preseason, but I feel like there's enough to talk about from Friday's game. Somewhat of a very eventful game. Before we do that, every Monday, first 30 seconds of the show, rate the sports weekend 1 to 10. 3 at best, Kyle. This feels like one of the last weekends of the summer where there's truly nothing going on. No UFC, no golf, No WWE pay-per-views. That's kind of my thing. I know it's not yours. But there was nothing besides baseball.
I mean,
So
there was golf, but there just wasn't a major. It's like a 4, I would say. At least we had preseason football.
Yeah, that's true.
Like it's better than most summer weekends, at least because there was kind of real football. I'll go 4.5. It's not quite a 5. But yeah, I think this is where things start to kick up following this weekend.
I didn't get to be a sicko and sit in front of multiple monitors watching everything all weekend like I would have maybe wanted to in a different weekend. We were here doing Loons games, which, hey, they were hot, and they've only got one more home stand left.
Big walk-off homer on Friday, too. That was pretty awesome.
Good stuff. If you were at the ballpark this week, we appreciate it. Grit night, holy cow, huge success. That was one of the best Fridays we've had all year.
Man, that was a ton of fun. We had John Vicari in a Lions jersey. I mean, it was really a good day.
Do we have a picture of that?
Yeah, I took a picture of John, actually. It's on his phone.
Okay, good.
But yes, we do have a picture of that.
We're going to need that for the week that the Giants play the Lions. And we're going to print that off and put it everywhere in this studio.
He was doing the Heisman pose in a JMO jersey. Like, that is just... That's some good stuff right there.
I saw a picture of Jameis Winston doing a Heisman pose in the middle of his preseason game too. It's good stuff. Good stuff. All right, let's actually start with some Detroit Lions here. Look, I think it's safe to say Hendon Hooker's career with the Lions is all but over. He might be around as this third-string emergency quarterback if they so desire. He doesn't really take up a roster spot. But Hendon Hooker found himself in a situation on Friday where he had to come through and show some sort of signs of life, and he did the complete opposite of that. Down his leg, you know what I'm talking about. He was a disaster once again. Not athletic, thinks he's athletic, can't stay in the pocket, jitter feet, and can't hang on to the football. I think that pretty much sealed the deal on Hendon Hooker's career with the Lions. At this point, I'd be shocked if he ever stepped onto the field in a regular season game or contributed to the Lions in any sort of positive way. Not that Kyle Allen blew expectations out of the water, but he's just significantly better than Hendon Hooker right now in preseason. Hooker even got an opportunity to play with the second-string guys, and yet again, the Lions could not score with him as the quarterback. He gets pulled before halftime, insert Kyle Allen, and instantly things start clicking. Look, you look around preseason football, and a lot of teams have young quarterbacks that just kind of get you excited as backups. Joe Milton, Patriots last year, Cowboys this year, exciting guy. Trey Lance lit the Lions up in the Hall of Fame game. There's quarterbacks around the league that are sitting on the bench that against second stringers can look pretty good. Hendon Hooker's not one of them. Not only does he not look good, he is actively hurting the Lions every time he goes out there to the point where Kyle Allen looks like a Hall of Famer when he goes and replaces him. At this point, I'd be shocked if Hendon Hooker continued playing for the Detroit Lions in any sort of positive way. Now, with that being said, Hendon Hooker's not the quarterback I want to talk about right now. Jared Goff. Let's face a few things that are going to be reality this season, all right? Jared Goff, I believe, is under more pressure than anyone in the Detroit Lions organization. I'm talking players, I'm talking coaches, I'm talking owners. If I had to pinpoint the most pressure on one specific person, I think it comes down to Jared Goff. And it's not to say he has not proven himself in the Lions. He has, right? He's been more than any of us could have expected. All of us, every single one of us was guilty of calling him a bridge quarterback. And now they give him this extension. But now the extension's going to start to cause some cracks in this Detroit Lions roster. And we've already seen it start to kick off. Alex Anzalone, a little bit of a contract dispute. What's the next domino to fall? Is it Brian Branch not getting a contract? Is it Sam Laporta not getting a contract? Jamison Williams, Aiden Hutchinson, Jahmyr Gibbs, all these guys need contracts. And you know who I just, not intentionally, but typically gets left out of that conversation is Jack Campbell. Is it not the most Lions thing of all time to pay him before all of those guys? Oh, he's earned it. He's a Detroit Lion, here in and out. First guy here, last guy to leave. Jack Campbell's probably getting a contract extension, even though he's not as good of a player, or as at least important of a player as all those other guys I just named. You're already starting to see some of that because of the Goff contract. The other reality is he has a worse offensive line, and oh yeah, Ben Johnson is gone. There is more on Jared Goff's plate this year than there ever has been before. And let's not forget, it's kind of back-to-back playoff stinkers. it wasn't all his fault in that Commanders game. That defense couldn't get a stop, couldn't stop a nosebleed. But Goff wasn't the solution. And he wasn't the solution in that 49ers game as well. So back-to-back games where he doesn't play his best football. And now he's dealing with a worse offensive line. Now he's without the play caller that really made him, if we want to say MVP caliber, MVP type of season, sure, by all means, but he's never going to win the award. Now that he has a worse offensive line and is without Ben Johnson, and he still has all these weapons, I think there's just way more on his plate. Way more on his plate. The reality is, if Aiden Hutchinson's out there, this is a better team than they were last year. So it's not like all of a sudden, hey, I'm real worried about Goff. What's going to happen now that Ben Johnson... I'm not worried. This team is going to be fine. But are you comfortable with the idea that there is more pressure on Jared Goff right now than there has been before? The Lions are going to be fine. I'm just saying there are a couple things that I think about that just make me this nervous. And people on the radio probably can't hear that or can't see this, but I'm holding my fingers up about an inch apart. I'm just a wee bit nervous. Jared Goff's not a guy who's going to fix a ton of your problems when things start to break down in the middle of the play. Everything has to go on script, and he is damn good at following that script. But with that being said, I don't know how much things are going to go according to script this year. And that's not me being pessimistic. It's me not knowing what we're getting from Johnny Morin, not knowing what Tate Ratledge and Christian Mahogany are going to look like as the guards. And I know Tate Ratledge had this awesome preseason game on Friday. We'll get to that in a little bit, but we don't know what Tate Ratledge is going to be. I hope he's going to be a mauler. He sure looked like a mauler in that preseason game, but that's against a bunch of backups. Jared Goff, to me, is under more pressure than anyone this year to get the Lions to the Super Bowl. Because, let's face it, as much as we love this roster, and Hutchinson's back, and the defense is way better, and the weapons might be the best group of weapons in the NFL, if Jared Goff's not playing to the way he was for the most of last season, the Lions aren't getting anything done. The person that this season relies on more than anybody is JG16. And I don't know how to feel about that, if I'm being completely honest. Because if we're naming 5 of the most important guys on this team, well, how about this? 5 of the best players on this team. I don't think Jared Goff pops up. I think the 5 best players on this team, just straight up, Hutchinson, Sewell, Gibbs, St. Brown, Brian Branch. All right, then we can get into J-Mo, Laporta, Kirby Joseph, Ali McNeil, and Jared Goff. That's the next tier. This team is completely loaded. But the quarterback, the most important position on the field at all times, is not necessarily the guy who's taking the franchise and dragging it by his hand, putting the team on his back. And throughout the course of, the last 10 years, that seems to be the recipe to work in the NFL. Now, the Eagles are a little bit of a mix of those situations because they've got the roster and they've got the quarterback. And I'm not saying the Lions don't have the quarterback. All I'm saying is there is more on Jared Goff's plate this year than there ever has been before. And that makes me just the tiniest bit nervous. Does anyone else share this with me? Or am I just acting crazy? 989-837-6125. We'll get to the Mitt messages. We'll get to the YouTube comments. We'll get to the Tigers at 10 o'clock. But I do want to start out the week by talking about the quarterback of the Detroit Lions because, we are so close to the beginning of the NFL season. And I just want everyone to be on the same page in terms of what the expectations are for Jared Goff. Don't throw this guy's going to win MVP at me. I don't want to hear it. I've heard that each of the last 3 seasons or 2 seasons. I don't know. It's just not going to happen. But he's going to have to play as good as he did last year for this Lions team to have a chance. At least in the regular season, he's going to have to play that good. Because in the playoffs, it wasn't great. And at the end of the day, we can talk about this roster and the offensive line and the play calling, but we need another amazing season from Jared Goff in order for all of us, me, Kyle, you listeners, we all want the same thing. Lombardi Trophy in Detroit. The only way that happens is if Jared Goff plays like a champion. And in the last 2 postseasons, I'd argue he hasn't. We shall see. 989-837-6125. Are you at all, even a little bit, okay with admitting you're nervous about the Jared Goff situation? Because with this contract, with the new play caller, with the new offensive line, the expectation for him needs to be you need to play like a Super Bowl caliber quarterback. You don't have to put the team on your back, rush for a ton of yards the way that a Lamar and Mahomes. We know you're not that guy. But we cannot get another Commanders game out of you. It just simply can't happen. And let's be honest with ourselves, after the season, it gets significantly harder because of his contract. That's the route they decided to go. And there wasn't an alternative. There's probably someone out there yelling at the radio, what do you want them to do, not pay him? No, they had to pay him because Hendon Hooker sucks. But they had to pay him. But the reality of the situation is if you're paying him, which they did, he's got to play well. Do you trust that? 989-837-6125. Like I said, we'll get to the Mitt messages and YouTube comments here shortly. It's the Ben Bosscher Show on a Monday on 100.9 The Mitt.
The Ben Bosscher Show, built by Bresky Siding and Building Repair on 100.9 The Mitt.
Suit up, Sea Captain. At Dive and Glide in Midland, we've got all the gear you need to make a splash. Flippers that fit like a glove, masks that show you the underwater magic, and tanks ready to fuel your next adventure. Whether you're snorkeling the local lakes or dreaming of ocean depths, Dive and Glide has your back and your fins. Find us on Cambridge Street or swim over to diveandglideinc.com. Dive and Glide, making waves one splash at a time so you can dive deeper than ever before.
From making athletic footwear stronger and lighter to powering the future of electric racing vehicles, material science and R&D are the MVPs of innovation. At Dow, we collaborate with customers and partners to tackle a wide range of sports product challenges with cutting-edge advancements in technology. Dow's innovations can help to improve performance and sustainability throughout the world of sports. Dow, at the intersection of sports and science.
At First Class Epoxy Floor and Counter, floors don't just get coated, they get a makeover. Epoxy's so tough, it shrugs off spills, stains, and even your wildest dance moves. Garages, workshops, anywhere you want a floor that's smooth, shiny, and just a little bit sassy, they handle it all with style. No more boring floors. Get ready to impress everyone who walks through the door. Slide into durability and flair. First Class Epoxy Floor and Counter, where your floors get the VIP treatment they didn't know they needed.
Since 2007, the Michigan Baseball Foundation has invested over $1.8 million into our communities, supporting over 350 projects across 14 Michigan counties. From restoring Alma Little League fields to creating nature-based classrooms at the Chippewa Nature Center and enhancing accessibility at the middle of the Mitt Miracle Field, MBF is making a real difference. Every ticket to a Great Lakes Loons game helps fund these initiatives. Join us in building a stronger, more vibrant community. Learn more at MichiganBaseballFoundation.org.
A beautiful yard increases both the value of your home and the quality of your life. Commercially, landscaping creates a positive impression of your professionalism and commitment to community, customers, and employees. Cervinsky Sod has been creating and maintaining outdoor spaces for 56 years. Whether your project is residential or commercial, the team at Cervinsky Sod Services will work with you to build and meet budgets and finish the job with top quality and in a timely manner. To get a quote, call 989-835-4810 or visit CervinskySodService.com.
Celebrate the 75th anniversary of a Peanuts Christmas with the Great Lakes Loons on Friday, August 29th. Relive the heartwarming classic in a festive atmosphere filled with nostalgia and holiday cheer. The team will also wear Peanuts-inspired jerseys that fans can bid on during a live online auction. For tickets, head to loons.com. This isn't just baseball. This is the Great Lakes Loons, everyone's hometown team. From Midland to Bay City, Saginaw to Sanford, from Frankenmuth, Freeland, and Hemlock to Auburn, Essexville, and Pinconning, 100.9 The Mitt is the heartbeat of the Great Lakes Bay region, and proud of it. We're your home for local sports, local stories, and local pride. Whether you're in Birch Run, Beaverton, Gladwin, Chesaning, or Coleman, football, basketball, hockey, Spartans, NFL, Loons, all right here. 100.9 The Mitt, Mid-Michigan's sports leader.
The Ben Bosscher Show, built by Bresky Siding and Building Repair on 100.9 The Mitt.
(989-837-6125). Here's what I want to ask everyone. Who's under more pressure than Jared Goff in the Detroit Lions organization? I say no one. You look at the schedule. You look at the new offensive line, a new play caller. There's a lot of newness around the Lions offense. Newness. I think that's a word. But regardless, the constant is Jared Goff. And if he doesn't deliver, nothing else matters, right? No matter what, we talk about, what's going to happen with two new coordinators? What's going to happen with the new offensive line? I think point blank period, the Lions are a better team this season simply because Aiden Hutchinson is on the field. He's that caliber of a player. So I'm not worried about the Lions collapsing by any means. I still think they're going to kick butt in the NFC North. Back-to-back division champs would be my prediction. But in terms of getting over that hump, and don't get me wrong, NFC North champion hanging another banner to the Detroit Lions fans, that should mean something. That's not nothing. But I think now the Lions are at a point where they got to get over the hump and get to the Super Bowl. And in order to do that, Jared Goff's going to have to play 3 awesome games in a row. Are you comfortable with that? Because let's face it, we all know Jared Goff's a little bit different of a quarterback when he's under pressure. 2 new starting offensive linemen, both from the interior. And he can't move. He's one of the 2 to 3 most unathletic quarterbacks in the NFL. And that's not to say it's not going to work out, can't succeed that way. We've seen quarterbacks do it in the past, but this is also a different era of football. Football looks a lot different right now than it did 7 years ago, right? I've always said as soon as Mahomes came into the league and this ability to adapt and scramble and extend the play, that's now a necessity. There's no more pocket quarterbacks left. There's no pocket quarterbacks that come in as prospects. That's not how it works anymore. And Jared Goff's one of the last lone ones. If he's under pressure, he's a different quarterback. If he's under pressure constantly, I don't think the Lions are winning the Super Bowl. There's a lot of pressure on, literally and metaphorically, pressure on Jared Goff to be an even better quarterback than he was last season, which many people thought, at least Lions fans, MVP caliber season. Are you with me on this, Kyle, that he is under more pressure than anyone in the Detroit Lions organization, from owner to GM to coach to player?
Well, yeah, I think the big reason, too, is kind of what you got at when you ended the first segment, is that think about how the Lions season ended last year. They lost the game because of Goff. I know a lot of people were very upset about, Jamison Williams is throwing a pass. Like, what is Ben Johnson doing? That's not why they lost. Jared Goff had one of his worst games of the season. That's why they lost. It's that simple.
And he had one of his worst games of the season because he got rattled early on.
Right.
And he got smoked.
Once again, it wasn't, the defense they couldn't get a stop on Jaden Daniels, but Daniels outplayed Goff. If Goff plays the typical game that we saw in 15 of the 18, 17 games last year, the Lions win that game. So I think that you and I have kind of discussed how the term Super Bowl window doesn't really fit this Lions team because of just this front office and this ownership group and just the players that they're able to get in the draft. Like, we think they're going to be competitive for a long time. So we can't really say that this is the end of a window for the Lions, but I think this is the end of this group, right, with the way that the contract situation is playing out with Jared Goff. This is the final season that we really can sit here and be like, they're going to pay this guy, right? Like, they can figure it out. At some point, they can't figure it out. After this
they already
Goff
start to
contract,
can't.
Yeah, exactly. We've seen it with Anzalone, and this is just the beginning of it. And it's one of the hindrances of drafting really well. Yeah, they didn't have any other option to pay Jared Goff. What are they supposed to do? And this isn't like I'm scared that Jared Goff isn't going to be able to perform this year. But we are going to see a version of Goff this season we have yet to see in this Lions competitive tier, right? Since they've been real contenders over the last 2, now 3 seasons, Goff has not been in this type of situation. He's been set up much differently. And with all the external factors, offensive line, offensive coordinator, the contract, I totally think that he's under the most pressure.
And I feel like the last few seasons, whenever Goff has had a bad game, people have been quick to make excuses for him. And a lot of the times, the excuses were somewhat valid.
I think they're fair, yeah. I would agree.
He's under a ton of pressure. What do you want him to do? He's not as good of a quarterback. Okay, but you knew that, and you gave him a contract. Therefore, when he's under pressure and he doesn't perform well, and I mean pressure like literally because the offensive line is not as good, from the interior. If he doesn't play well because of that, you can't be surprised anymore, right? So now all of a sudden there is more pressure on him. I said the word pressure too many times.
Most used word today for sure.
100%. I just think the past couple of years it hasn't really been his fault. The defense isn't bad. You've filled in the gaps on the offensive line during an injury. Like, you can't expect him to take over the game. You got to set him up to succeed. If the run game's not working, then how's Jared Goff's? No, all that's thrown out the window. We need Jared Goff to be awesome this season. And he was awesome all but, 3 games last year? The Texans game, the playoff game.
Right, but even the Texans game, like he obviously 5 picks or whatever is
he was
insane.
terrible.
But he was able to lead a comeback, and they still won, you know?
We're going to need that version from him all the time next year. There can't be stinkers, right? And are the Lions going to have 15 wins next year? No, I don't expect that either. But they're going to need timely wins. And we can't get through a whole nother regular season and then a playoff stinker happen. And I'm not trying to speak this into existence. I'm not even nervous about it happening. All I'm stating is the excuse. There's no more excuses for him anymore. He's under pressure. We need him. He's now the most important player on the team.
So you would say that it's more on him than it is on John Morton to build a similar style offense that has succeeded for Goff in the past?
Yes.
With this new offensive line?
Yes. Goff has been around. He knows what happens. He knows how it works. He knows his players. He knows his personnel. Johnny Morton can drop the plays, but this is going to come down to if Jared Goff can execute for himself. He's not going to be as spoon-fed as he was with Ben Johnson. The script's not going to be as precise, right? I'm not saying Johnny Morton's going to be a bad offensive coordinator, or I'm not saying he's going to be a good one. But at the end of the day, this comes down to if Jared Goff can execute. I really think that's what this season comes down to. And that's what will determine if the Lions get to hoist a Lombardi trophy. And I only bring this all up because I'm watching the game on Friday. I'm like, yeah, Hendon Hooker sucks. Like, straight up. There's nothing else to say. He's done. His career with the Lions is over. He might stick around third-string quarterback, but I'm thinking about this, and I'm like, all right, they're just really going to need Jared Goff to stay healthy, and they're really going to need Jared Goff to play like he did last year for 90% of the season. Can't get that other 10%. 989-837-6125. Let's get a couple messages out of the way. This is from Kyle in Auburn. Not Kyle behind the glass, Kyle Sandel.
Right.
I believe Goff worked on his footwork and will be the very best version of himself. The Lions lost because they had no defense to stop Washington and because Goff played bad. The Lions will get their revenge on Washington in the regular season, and Hutch is going to sack Daniels 3 times. Book it.
Man, I'd love that.
That'd be fantastic. I want to touch on that Commanders team later in Stock Exchange, if that's okay.
Ooh, okay. Interesting.
This is from an unnamed texter. Says, happy Monday, guys. I think the trainers are under the most pressure in the Detroit Lions organization. I don't know if anyone... I don't know. I don't know what to do about the trainers thing because yes, there's been an abundance of injuries over the past 2 seasons with the Lions, and at some point it's like something's weird, but it's also football. I don't know how the trainers are supposed to prevent some of these crazy injuries.
They also have 5 guys on season-ending in IR already, like 2 weeks into training camp,
which was the story last year as well. But what are they supposed to do with these? The soft tissue. It's not even the soft tissue injuries that are knocking all these guys out. Broken bones and stuff. Like, what are they supposed to do with this?
I mean, it's at what point is it on the trainers for them getting injured, you know?
We'll get to some of the season-long injuries that came out after the second preseason game a little bit later on in the show. But yeah, there are now a good amount of Brad Holmes draft picks that are in danger of not making the team. All right, we've got some more messages to get to. You know what? Why not do one more? This is from Darren. Goff will play at an MVP level this year, and will lead the team in passing yards and lead the league in passing yards and touchdowns. I don't know if I can get there, man. Look, I like JG, but I think there's some Lions fans that put him in that like real top tier, when in reality, he's probably in the third one.
Well, I also don't think it's like his. I mean, you just look at the other quarterbacks and the way the offenses work around the league. Like, how does he have more passing yards than Joe Burrow this year?
He won't.
You know,
or Dak Prescott for that.
Yeah,
matter.
exactly. With just the way those offenses are built and the way that the Lions run the football, as much as that has succeeded the last couple of years, it would be very difficult for him to do that. Maybe the touchdowns, but the yards is tough.
All right, we'll save some more Mitt messages for a little bit later. I'll get to the YouTube chat as well. By the way, I think I saw in the YouTube chat, Matt Noel, one of our workers here at Dow Diamond, said it was his birthday, so happy birthday to Matt.
Hey, happy birthday.
Always see him in the chat, so appreciate you listening, even on your birthday. Hope you have a good one. All right, 989-837-6125. We'll get to some more of those in a little bit. Want to know if there's anyone you think has more pressure on them than Jared Goff going into this season. We'll hit the news when we come back. This right here is the Ben Bosscher Show live on 100.9 The Mitt. And you right now should head downtown Midland to go to Ace Hardware and Sports, locally owned and proudly operated right here in the heart of Midland. Hey, summer's only got a month or two left. You got to get your projects done before the cold weather comes, which, hey, I'm not trying to talk about cold weather or anything, but fall is right around the corner, and you want to make sure your situation, your yard, your basement, your man cave, your garage, wherever you want to watch your football games, get it up to par. And if you need some tools to be able to do that,
or a donut,
you got to get to Ace Hardware. Like I said, locally owned, downtown Midlands. Make sure your yard's good. $3 off Ortho Weed Killer, proven power to take your yard back. Go bigger with $10 off Spruce Weed and Grass Killer. Tough on the weeds, easy on your wallets. Go get your man cave up to par. Best man cave. You should be hosting the parties this year for football season, right? You should want to host everything, have the cool place. Get your man cave built here at Ace Hardware and Sports, right where local service meets big time savings. Support your yard and your community all in one stop. Once again, that's Ace Hardware and Sports. We'll be right back. This is the Ben Bosscher Show.
The Ben Bosscher Show, built by Bresky Siding and Building Repair on 100.9 The Mitt.
The Loons took 4 of 6 off the Lugnuts last week in their second-to-last final homestand of 2025. And right now, they're riding the momentum of a 4-game win streak ahead of this 12-game road trip coming up starting Tuesday. And it was a really fun week against the Lugnuts in which the Loons got their first walk-off home run since May of 2023.
Pitch to Geloff. Swings and drives it deep to left field. That ball is on its way, and it is gone! Oh, it's been a long time for the Loons to end it on a long ball.
Great Lakes a half game over Lake County for that final playoff spot in the East Division currently. Start a 6-game road series with Wisconsin on Tuesday. First pitch is at 7:40. Pre-game coverage at 7:25 on The Mitt.
I'm Sarah Stockford, host of 100.9 The Mitt Success Suite, a podcast highlighting the most inspiring female leaders across the Great Lakes Bay region. This month, we spoke with Allie Huntoon, the director and founder of Allied HR Solutions and Allied Group Fitness.
Lean on people I trust to help me get through things too. If I know that I'm overwhelmed or I need support with something, I usually try to reach out. Sometimes I'm still trying to do things all myself.
Yep.
And that's a learning curve too. Delegation is your friend.
Yep.
I'm learning that.
That's something I definitely do.
So I think it's leaning on your team. I think it's putting things into perspective. Even though HR is very important and we have things all the time that come up with terminations or discrimination or harassment.
Listen to the full interview with Allie on YouTube on 100.9 The Mitt. Subscribe and hit the notification button to be alerted when new episodes drop. That's Success Suite with Sarah Stockford.
Isaiah, how did you get all wet?
I was playing in the rain.
Son, you're in the house. It's not raining inside. Or is it?
Yeah, it's in the kitchen.
What?
Oh no, the roof has a leak.
Leak? That's a waterfall.
We need that fixed now.
Rexy Silent Birdie Repair can fix it.
What, son?
Any job, anywhere. Bresky can do it all.
Call Bresky right now and get that roof fixed. And while you're at it, have him fix the gutters.
Call me, Derek Bresky, at Bresky Siding and Building Repair today.
Celebrate the 75th anniversary of a Peanuts Christmas with the Great Lakes Loons on Friday, August 29th. Relive the heartwarming classic in a festive atmosphere filled with nostalgia and holiday cheer. The team will also wear Peanuts-inspired jerseys that fans can bid on during a live online auction. For tickets, head to loons.com. This isn't just baseball. This is the Great Lakes Loons, everyone's hometown team. This is more than just a lineup. It's a daily ritual for the die-hard Michigan sports fans. At 6 a.m., Anthony Bellino wakes up the state with Spin on Sports.
I do not believe it.
At 9, the Ben Bosscher Show is appointment listening hosted here in the Great Lakes Bay region.
I would like to buy some Casey Mize stock.
America's Best takes over at noon. The Herd with Colin Cowherd.
Well, what about Patrick Mahomes?
And at 3, Bill Simonson brings it home on The Huge Show. Sports Radio 100.9 The Mitt, for the most passionate fans in Michigan.
Are you an enthusiastic sports fan? Want to have fun and get in on the action?
Heck, yes. That'd be awesome.
Have great attention to detail? Want to stay active?
Definitely.
Want to give back to the student athletes in your community?
Obviously, yes.
Then you'd make an excellent high school sports official. We need more officials in Michigan, because with no high school officials, there are no high school sports. Sign up today at highschoolofficials.com.
The Ben Bosscher Show, built by Bresky Siding and Building Repair on 100.9 The Mitt.
We'll get to some more Jared Goff dialogue in a little bit. The Tigers, that's at 10 o'clock. In the meantime, let's see what's going on in the news.
The Mitt's Morning Catch.
All right, Ben, it's a Monday, so we got a ton of news to get to from over the weekend.
Okay.
Starting off, I think we do need to give a quick update on what went down in that Lions game on Friday night. Obviously, just a very scary situation with Maurice Norris. He has returned to the Lions training camp, though, which is obviously very big news. He's out of the hospital. He went there Friday night, and Dan Campbell gave us an update there. But yeah, Norris is back with the Lions training facility with teammates yesterday.
Crazy recovery, right? Like, I guess I'm so out of my realm of expertise that I don't really want to say anything on that. But for that to happen and for him to be back in the training facility just a few days later, count your blessings, right?
Yeah, I mean,
that's the only thing you can say.
And I thought that was a really powerful moment between the Falcons and Lions to, come together and basically agree to not continue the rest of the game. There's no point. It's a meaningless game. No one wants to continue to play after something like that happens.
Can't believe how long it took the officials to make that decision. Where they all just stood there for 8 minutes?
8 minutes of game time of just standing there. Yeah, it was really, and obviously we were at the Loons game, so I couldn't hear the broadcast or reasoning why. But yeah, just some terrible stuff, obviously. But I'm happy that it seems to be in a positive situation now.
I would not be surprised if by the time we got to next April, or March, or whenever the owners' meeting is, I think it's in February actually. If this is used as one of the biggest reasons that preseason football should cease to exist.
Cease to exist, not at all, not even a game.
Not maybe one singular game, but this kind of stuff, it's just not worth it.
No.
And you hear Campbell talk about the way he embraces the joint practices and how you can get the reps against another team while it being a controlled environment. That seems like a significantly more important. I don't know about important, but it feels like all the coaches, or at least the coach down in Detroit, would much rather have it in a controlled environment where there's less likely to be an injury and they can kind of stay on top of stuff rather than going out there and playing an actual football game.
Yeah.
Why doesn't every team just have a couple joint practices, do your scrimmages, and then you don't have to do a preseason game or maybe one Hall of Fame game? I don't know. 3 of them seems ridiculous. 4 of them seems bad. It seems ridiculous.
Well, especially with, the 18th game being rumored to come to the NFL at some point. It would just, to me, that makes the most sense. So we'll see. We got some major news that just broke this morning, Ben. You and I have been discussing it basically all morning between the breaks and right before the show started. Paramount Plus has officially bought the UFC rights to broadcast in a $7.7 billion deal over 7 years. I'll give you a little bit of the details on this really quickly. So 2 weeks ago, Skydance Media purchased CBS and Paramount Plus and Nickelodeon for $8 billion. So they're just spending out the wazoo over these last couple weeks, over $15 billion spent. They acquired the U.S. rights to TKO Group's UFC Starting in 2026, the agreement is for 43 annual UFC live events, which will be exclusively streamed on Paramount Plus, with some events being aired on CBS, apparently. This new Paramount deal will eliminate the pay-per-view model used by ESPN in its current deal with the UFC, making all events available for no extra charge on Paramount Plus. This is all coming from the article from CBS.
Yeah, if you're a UFC person, I think this is fantastic news.
This is major news.
It almost feels like I'm waiting for a but.
Right.
But right now, there isn't one.
Currently, the Paramount Plus premium subscription is just $12.99 a month, and then the essential version, which is has ads, you don't get access to everything. I have that one. It's $7.99.
So even if it's $12 a month and there's no additional charge, it's $144 for all the pay-per-views throughout the year. There's
Crazy
usually
deal.
about 12, 13 of them. Whereas,
it's like $75 to watch it every time. Yeah.
Right, so it seems like an absolute steal. Now, I wish it was still on the ESPN and they were just adjusting the price to it, since I'm going to have to buy ESPN to watch Red Zone
stuff,
and all the other streaming stuff. But,
True.
It seems like they're kind of giving the UFC fans a cheap way to watch it. Obviously, I would have wished it was bundled with the WWE package and the Red Zone stuff and everything was on the same thing, but one step at a time, I guess.
Yeah, the TKO group who owns UFC had been trying to get out of the pay-per-view situation for a long time, just because no one uses pay-per-view.
But the TKO group also is owned by, or the WWE is owned by that too, so it's weird that they're not both on the streaming service.
Yeah, that's a good point. But obviously, we'll see if there's going to be a new, deal, or essentially like a model for the Paramount Plus that includes UFC, or if it's just going to get thrown right in with that $12.99. We're going to find out. Excited to see that, though. Tonight, Tigers, White Sox kick off a 3-game series. 7:40 first pitch there in Chicago. Chris Paddock back on the mound, taking on Elvis Peguero of the White Sox.
Yeah, again, get to the Tigers at 10.
Okay. We got a big injury yesterday in the NFL. Eagles guard Landon Dickerson carted off with an apparent leg injury. Dickerson is expected to undergo an MRI in his right knee on Monday. This could be big news, though, for that Eagles O-line, one of the more important pieces in the interior of it.
Yeah, this isn't quite what would happen if Penei Sewell got hurt, but it's pretty close. This is tough news for the Eagles fans out there. I want the Eagles at their best. I don't want a beat-down Eagles team and then they're making excuses when the Lions get to beat them.
I could care less how they beat them,
I want them at full strength. I think the Lions at full strength can go toe-to-toe with anybody.
Well, the Eagles have been at full strength basically the last 2-3 seasons. They've really not dealt with a ton of injuries late in the year. So obviously it's early still, but
that one texter would say they have better trainers than the Lions.
That's a good point. Hey, maybe they do. I'm not tapped into the trainer rankings across the NFL. So
somebody should be doing that, though.
Probably Eagles are up there. Speaking of people injured, Matt Stafford is not injured anymore. He's going to start practicing today, Sean McVay says. Well, that doesn't mean he's not injured anymore, but he is going to return to practice after all this weird situation about him missing training camp has been going on this summer.
It's weird because at the beginning of last week, it was like, we hope he's back for the week one, like leading up to week one. And then you and I kind of sniffed him out like, wait, why is no one talking about this? Then all the national guys started being like, yeah, this guy's not practicing. And then they shifted him. They're like, no, he's going to practice on Monday. So I don't know how healthy this guy is to begin the year. All I know is he's not getting hit and he's dealing with back problems and he's 36 years old. Look, when this team's going to be healthy, they're going to be dangerous. It's just a matter of can they stay healthy this season.
Yeah, I've been buying Rams stock basically all summer. I'm starting to get a little nervous about that stock.
Yeah.
I'm starting to feel a certain type of way about it. I don't know if I'm quite selling it, but
I'm holding.
I'm nervous on it, that's for sure.
Hold. It's a hold situation.
Yes. We'll close out the news here with one more NFL injury news, and then we'll save the rest for later. Anthony Richardson, who absolutely, smashed his pinky in that game on Thursday, he has returned to Colts practice yesterday. So we'll see if he gets any more run here in the preseason or not. But sounds like he's going to be okay. Not going to miss any long-term time.
Whew. Thank God.
Yeah. We'll get another one here.
The NFL can get their superstar back. Guy who's selling a lot of tickets in AR. All right, 989-837-6125. You know what I like to do every Monday. It's the Stock Exchange. When we come back, Ben Bosscher Show live on 100.9 The Mitt.
The Ben Bosscher Show, built by Bresky Siding and Building Repair on 100.9 The Mitt.
I'm Sarah Stockford, host of 100.9 The Mitt Success Suite, a podcast highlighting the most inspiring female leaders across the Great Lakes Bay region. This month, we spoke with Allie Huntoon, the director and founder of Allied HR Solutions and Allied Group Fitness.
Lean on people I trust to help me get through things too. If I know that I'm overwhelmed or I need support with something, you know, I usually try to reach out. Sometimes I'm still trying to do things all myself, and that's a learning curve too. Delegation is your friend. I'm learning that.
Something I definitely do.
So I think it's leaning on your team. I think it's putting things into perspective. You know, even though HR is very important and we have things all the time that come up with terminations or discrimination or harassment.
Listen to the full interview with Allie on YouTube on 100.9 The Mitt. Subscribe and hit the notification button to be alerted when new episodes drop. That's Success Suite with Sarah Stockford.
It's the Scholar Athlete of the Month, proudly presented by Fisher Companies here on Sports Radio 100.9 The Mitt. This month's recipient is Scarlett Mason from Standish Sterling High School. With a 4.3 GPA, Scarlett's a member of the track and field team and a state champion in swimming. Scarlett, a member of the National Honor Society, and PALS, a student support group.
We get qualified, and then we are someone that if a student is uncomfortable talking to an adult, they can come talk to us about what's going on at home or whatever they're struggling with. The biggest thing was it raised mental health awareness, and I think that's huge in high school.
Scarlett will be attending and swimming at Wayne State in the fall. To hear the full interview and nominate a local athlete for our scholarship program, visit 1009themitt.com.
Midland Eye Care wants you to know the pervasive use of technology can lead to digital eye strain, burning or tired eyes, headaches, fatigue, loss of focus, blurred or double vision. Overexposure light from electronic devices may also increase the likelihood of developing serious eye conditions such as age-related macular degeneration. To give your eyes a rest, remember 20-20-20. Every 20 minutes, take a 20-second break and look at something 20 feet away. This message brought to you by Midland Eye Care, your vision source on Eastman Road in Midland, on Cedar and Gladwin, and now on East Washington in Freeland.
Celebrate the 75th anniversary of a Peanuts Christmas with the Great Lakes Loons on Friday, August 29th. Relive the heartwarming classic in a festive atmosphere filled with nostalgia and holiday cheer. The team will also wear Peanuts-inspired jerseys that fans can bid on during a live online auction. For tickets, head to loons.com. This isn't just baseball. This is the Great Lakes Loons, everyone's hometown team. Scrolling? Make it count. Want local sports content that actually matters? Yeah. 100.9 The Mitt is loaded with local highlights, viral plays, breaking sports news, and takes you can't get enough of. It's hot! Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube today, and you'll never be out of the loop on the Lions, Tigers, Pistons, Red Wings, Michigan State, and even the biggest stories in high school sports in the Great Lakes Bay region. 100.9 The Mitt, Mid-Michigan's sports leader.
I'm Ben Bosscher, and here's what I think. I think the Detroit Lions are going to be worse this season, but still go 12-5 and win the NFC North. I think the Minnesota Vikings are the biggest threat to steal the NFC North from the Detroit Lions. I think we got to taper back our expectations for Bryce Underwood, with him being an 18-year-old freshman and all. I think the lack of aggression from Scott Harris at the MLB trade deadline is going to haunt the Tigers for years to come. And I think you should listen to the Ben Bosscher Show weekdays from 9 to noon on 100.9 The Mitt, built by Bresky Siding and Building Repair, if you agree or disagree with anything I just said.
Have you noticed bad behavior has become normalized at interscholastic athletic events? Some fans seem angry. They lack civility toward one another. Some even get aggressive and unruly. Time out! What is going on? This has to stop. Let's not forget, school sports aren't just about winning. And they're definitely not an excuse to take your frustrations out on the official or the opponent. They're about teaching lessons like perseverance, respect, and empathy, so students can learn and grow as people, not just as players. We all have a role to play in setting a good example for our students and teaching them these important values. So fans, it's time to step up your game and behave positively at Interscholastic Athletic Events in Michigan.
This message presented by the MHSAA and the Michigan Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association.
The Ben Bosscher Show, built by Bresky Siding and Building Repair on 100.9 The Mitt.
Oh, I look forward to it every weekend. Show ends on Friday. Instantly, we start getting ready for this. Throughout the weekend, it's what I'm thinking about. It is time for our Monday morning stock exchange.
You know what? I'm not leaving. I'm not leaving.
The stock market.
The show goes on.
All right, Mr. Sandell, what are we buying? What are we selling after this weekend?
Ooh.
You kick us off.
Wow, I kick us off. Okay, I got a good one for you, Ben.
Okay.
I am buying Javier Baez stock right
God.
now. Yeah, I know, right? I mean, we saw that swing the other day. How could I be buying his stock? Well, Ben, they have no one on the team who could play center field for like the next week. So
You don't want to throw Riley Green out there?
they would not do that. So even though Riley Green made a really hell of a play, I think that was Friday night, I think, in left field. But Matt Vierling placed on the injured list when he had been honestly playing the best ball of the season.
Yeah.
Finally starting to show some life at the plate. That's done. Wenzel Perez doesn't go on IL, but is injured, and I assume he's going to miss at least 2 or 3 games, maybe more. Sounded like he could have went on the injured list. And then obviously Parker Meadows still is not back. So they bring up Trey Sweeney. He's going to be playing shortstop, a mix of him and Zach McKinstry. Javi Baez out in center. I think I'm going to buy his stock over the next week or so. It's a quick buy. You know, this isn't a long-term buy. I'm just doing it for a short term here. But it seems like when he was playing center field, that's when he was, you know, in his hottest state in the bat as well. So give me Javi.
Are you at all worried about his plate appearances for this stock buy?
I just told
as
you.
Much as I like
hasn't been
Javi
bad
at
at
center
the plate.
field, it's the plate that's been worrisome. Do you know how many walks he has this year? I wrote it down.
I mean, he doesn't draw any walks. He never has.
Guess. How many do you think he has this
Probably
year?
like 9.
That's actually exactly right.
Give me that.
Yeah. All right. I'm comfortable with that buy.
That's so funny.
It's a good one. I'll sell my Kerry Carpenter stock.
Oh, no.
Yeah, Tigers fans aren't going to like this, but 382, 5 home runs in 12 games back, that's not sustainable. I know Tigers fans are like, what is this guy talking about? Why would he do that? But come on, 382, 5 home runs in 12 games. He's hot right
suck,
now.
Ben
He's
Bosscher.
hot right now. I'm just selling a little bit of stock. Odds are that dips down a little bit by the end of August, and then we can buy it again. But he's scorching hot right now. If the goal of this is to sell high and to buy low, right now would probably be the time to sell Kerry Carpenter stock. All right, I'll make up for that with my next buy. But yeah, it's outrageous right now.
Well, give it to me then. What is it?
All right, I'm going to buy Riley Green stock then. He has a nice weekend, and typically, he has a good weekend. Why would you buy stock? Well, because at the end of the day, he is still having one of the worst stretches of his entire career right now. 419 OPS in August through 11 days. So even with a great weekend, still one of the worst months of his career. Let's buy it right now, assuming he's out of his funk. He has a great series versus the Angels, homers and doubles yesterday. And let's just bank on the fact that he's fixed himself and can not be the worst hitter in the league for the next 20 days. All right? Fair enough?
Yeah, that's fair.
I think the home run was a sign of like, all right, he's back. Maybe not back to, the hottest month of his career. It's funny. We've seen the coldest stretch of Riley Green's career and the hottest stretch of Riley Green's career. That's going to even out. So now that it's still down, let's just buy it.
Okay. I don't mind that. I'll keep the MLB buy or sell stocks going. I was going to do a bit where I was going to sell Brewers stock just because, they're not going to win the World Series, right? But they've been playing, so well where I feel like it would be almost rude to sell their stock right now. So I'm not going to do that. But there is a different team who I'm going to sell their stock of. I'm selling the Guardian stock. Look, I've been seeing all this stuff over the last week or so. Obviously the Guardians are in the hunt with the Tigers, 6 games back. We did that topic already. But they're also in the hunt for the wild card as well. With the Yankees playing the way that they have been, the Guardians trail the Yankees by just a half game for that final spot in the wild card, with the Rangers also not playing well. So I just feel like there's no way all this off-the-field stuff doesn't catch up to him, right? With everything going on with Clase, Luis Ortiz, you're telling me it's just those two guys, by the way, that were doing stuff and no one else? I just think they have so much going on off the field that at some point it's going to catch up to them. They're going to start playing bad baseball. I don't think this team is in a playoff spot, so I'm selling any Guardian stock that's out there.
I can get behind that. They're like 20-11 in their past 31 or something like that.
8-2 in the last 10 as well.
It's like
they're playing good. I mean, they've been playing really good.
Somehow without all their best players, too.
Right.
Their pitching
they
staff.
have Ramirez and Kwan, obviously, but, yeah, they traded Bieber at the deadline, and then Gavin Williams almost throws a no-hitter last week. So, yeah, who knows? I'm selling stock, though.
I'm going to work in a non-sports one. I'm going to go caffeine. Man, I tried to not drink it as much.
Are you buying or selling it?
Oh, I'm buying it again. I tried to quit caffeine, not like cold turkey, but I tried to stop doing energy drinks specifically at the beginning of the year in January. It was like a New Year's, I don't know about a resolution, but a goal of like, hey, stop drinking these. They're not as good. They're not good for you to drink one of these every day. And for a while, I was pretty good, and I switched it over to tea, and I was able to stay on that for a while. But like, I don't know. Eventually, the tea just doesn't work, and I need an abundance of caffeine in a short amount of time. And I come in today, and I'm like, you know what? I gotta go get 200 milligrams in me right now. I try to get away from it, man, but
right now,
I think it's got me on a hook. Caffeine.
Yeah.
Welcome back into my life. I give up on trying to push you away.
On something that every person uses every single day.
Yep. It's just undefeated. The world's best drug.
It really is. Yeah. I mean, it's just I'm never gonna be the guy that's like I gotta stop taking caffeine.
It's the one drug.
No, you don't, dude. You just have to use it.
World's best drug. Caffeine.
You have to have it.
Adults that live without it.
Make sure you control it. You know.
Adults that live without caffeine, I salute you. I don't know how you do it.
Or you just don't do enough in your life. You know, where you're not doing.
You're lazy.
You need that. Yeah. You're lazy
you're
if you don't take caffeine. No,
I had during the Loons game, kid asked me, I don't even know how it came up, but why it's like a kid who's always here, and great guy, and he was like, when did you start drinking energy drinks? I was like, oh my god. I don't know, college. He's like, my parents won't let me drink them. Like, dude, you're like 14. Of course, you should not be drinking 200 milligrams of caffeine every day.
Or any caffeine, right? Or other than what you're drinking, pop, you know? It's like the only caffeine you should be getting.
I remember bouncing off the walls after one Coke when I was that young.
Yeah, you drink 2 little Mountain Dews, and you're like, oh, my God.
I see the world differently.
Yeah. Okay, I'll keep it with a non-sports one. I'll sell here. This is a weird one, a personal one for me. I'm selling my stock on watching movies because let me explain. For me personally, which is weird because it's the summer, it's nice out. Prime movie watching season is the summer, and it's ending. Like I watched a movie last night. I'll probably watch one. No, Tigers are on tonight. I probably will watch one, I don't know, one of the days this week because there's no Loons. But once football starts, I don't really be watching movies because you're watching football and then basketball starts again. I know it's cold out and you're in the house all the time, but sports is always on. So movie watching season is coming to an end. And I love watching movies, by the way. Want to go see the new Weapons movie. Still haven't seen that.
Oh, dude, that looks so good.
Yeah.
I would say let's go see that together, but like, you know. What, like, I don't know.
What? No, I don't know.
I don't know. I'd rather.
What? I don't know.
I like hanging out with you, Kyle. Like, we should go golfing together sometime this week. But like, I don't want to just go one-on-one to the movies with you.
Oh, okay. I see where you're going.
I'd rather do that by myself.
Okay. But anyways, as I was saying, yeah, it's just movie watching season is coming to an end. So I'm gonna sell stock on that right now.
But do we buy stock on movie watching season like November 30th? For Christmas when all these like awesome movies come out?
Sure, man.
Okay. I also want to see that Weapons movie. That looks unreal, and it's getting fantastic reviews. All right, I'll do one more before we come back to this later. I'm buying stock on if Midland were to keep one of those Gus Macker.
Wait, what?
If Midland were to keep one of those Gus Macker hoops downtown all year round, or at least in the summer. So I go down.
You're buying stock on a hypothetical.
Yeah. So I went down, go get a couple drinks after Loons game Saturday, and I'm walking down the main strip, and there's these guys, like 5 guys, just like kind of just shooting. And I just like basically insert myself into the group. I'm like, hey, we're playing threes, right? He's like, sure. And it's like 80 degrees, super hot. End up playing 3-on-3 in the dark. There's like one street lamp. There should just be one of those hoops year-round downtown. It's already closed off area. There's no driving through that area in the summer. Keep a basketball hoop there, and everyone will be excited for when Gus Macker rolls around at the end of the summer in August. Keep one of those hoops down there for everybody.
Honestly, it's not a bad idea.
I know.
I would be in on that. I would buy stock on this random made-up scenario that you've conducted.
I've got a whole lot more than I want to buy and sell. That's coming up in a little bit. Later on in the show, call it the end of the 10 o'clock hour. The beginning of the 10 o'clock hour, we've got to work in this Detroit Tigers team. Have an excellent, excellent series against the Angels. Didn't sweep, but we'll get to that and a whole lot more about this Tigers team when we come back. It's the Ben Bosscher Show, live on a Monday.
The Ben Bosscher Show, built by Bresky Siding and Building Repair on 100.9 The Mitt.
Detours driving you bonkers? Ideal Party Store's got your back with the Detour discount. While the Lafayette Bridge is closed, enjoy 10% off select craft beer 6-packs and 10% off 4 bottles of select wine, 750 milliliters or more, with 2 great locations, 908 North Johnson on the east side and 401 Salzburg on the west side. Ideal Party Store makes every detour worth it. Serving Bay City since 1934, we're here to make you the life of the party.
Discover championship golf with amazing views at Apple Mountain in Freeland. Whether you're chasing birdies or just out for a relaxing round, Apple Mountain offers a stunning 18-hole experience for every skill level. Perfect greens, scenic fairways, and a course that plays as beautifully as it looks. Book your tee time now at applemountain.com. Apple Mountain. Golf elevated. Just minutes from Saginaw, but miles from the ordinary.
Hi, I'm Dr. Brandon Scott at Scott Family Dental in Midland. As someone who was born and raised here, I would like to introduce myself by offering my services as your family dental provider. At Scott Family Dental, our mission is to provide excellent and personalized care using the latest technologies and best practices. Our highly trained and personable staff ensure you will feel comfortable along the way.
Dr. Scott is accepting new patients at 2509 West Wackerly Street next to the US 10 on-ramp. Scott Family Dental, let's bring out your best smile together.
Now, wait a second, Sharon. So the Midland Area Community Foundation runs the Midland Area Santa House?
You bet we do.
And Midland Area River Days?
Absolutely.
Plus scholarships for students and grants for local nonprofits? That's like hitting the cycle and impacting our community.
Anyone can step up to the plate and help build community capital for as little as $5.
$5? That's the cost of a snack at the ballpark. How do I get in the game?
Just visit midlandfoundation.org and make a gift to our community investment fund. Every dollar makes a difference.
Join the team. Give today at midlandfoundation.org.
Scrolling? Make it count. Want local sports content that actually matters?
Yeah.
100.9 The Mitt is loaded with local highlights, viral plays, breaking sports news, and takes you can't get enough of.
It's hot!
Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube today, and you'll never be out of the loop on the Lions, Tigers, Pistons, Red Wings, Michigan, Michigan State, and even the biggest stories in high school sports in the Great Lakes Bay region. 100.
Sports. Sign up today at highschoolofficials.com.
From the Blazy Electric Studios, this is Sports Radio 100.9 The Mitt. WLUN, Pinconning Bay City, Saginaw, Midland.
Ben Bosscher here. Kyle Sandel behind the glass producing for us. Tigers pick up a series win against the Angels. They start another one against the White Sox tonight. Do you remember last season, that good old Parker Meadows stat where they were this record with him, this record without him? Even though his numbers didn't pop off the page, they seemed to just win when he was out there in the starting lineup because of all the small stuff he did throughout the course of the game and the season. Yeah. Remember that stat? Mm-hmm. I think there's a new player that stat belongs to, that when they're out there, they win. And, of course, Tarek Skubal fits the bill on that, but that's not who I'm talking about. Kerry Carpenter.
Kerry Bonds, John!
The Tigers are 54-36 with Kerry Carpenter. Without him, they're 14-15. Pretty drastic. He doesn't walk. You said Javi Baez has 9 walks this season. Kerry Carpenter said, I'll best you, I have 8. And he's missed a little bit of time. And it was pretty cold the month leading up to his injury. But having that kind of guy in the lineup when there is a righty on the mound, I think does a couple of different things. Obviously, it brings some more power to the lineup, and you put a guy on the team who just mashes righties. In the last 2 years, has been one of the best hitters in the league against righties. But I think it takes a little bit of pressure off of Riley Green to have to try to murder the baseball every single at-bat. To protect him and surround him with talent rather than, not that like some of these guys that are surround Riley Green aren't talented, but Kerry Carpenter is a significant upgrade over some of the guys that are either hitting behind or in front of Riley Green. But to have Glaber and Kerry and Torkelson, who actually has pretty good splits versus righties and lefties, all around Riley Green, I think it helps him out in that capacity too. So to have Kerry Carpenter back into the lineup, I think has been essential for the Tigers relighting that flame, even though it's not as high of a flame as it was at the beginning of the season, Kyle.
Yeah, I honestly, I think I bought Kerry Carpenter stock when he was injured just because you expected him to get back to this level at some point based on his splits. Like, he's never going to face left-handed pitching. A.J. Hinch made that clear at the beginning of the season when we had wanted it all offseason. Game 1, he doesn't start against a lefty.
Yeah.
So it's like, to me, I expected this to start happening, honestly, because of the way he killed right-handers last year. And like you said, it brought a spark back when Riley Green had been in a slump of sorts. And maybe he still is. He just had a good weekend. Hopefully he's worked himself out of this. But Kerry Carpenter last year was the best power hitter on this team. He was the best hitter against right-handed pitching. So just to expect this slump that he was in to continue to happen the rest of the season, I thought was unrealistic. I really thought he was going to at least start to improve and get back to that area. And just like that, he's bolstered his OPS up back to that 800 number. So I'm not shocked by this, and I think this is very crucial for the Tigers going forward as far as, look, man, in a playoff series, as simple as this, you need guys to hit home runs. Like, that is one of the – it's such a basic stat, but, like, it is so important in the playoffs just to have guys that can pop off for bombs at any given time. And Kerry Carp is maybe the number one guy on the team that is going to be capable of doing that in the playoffs.
And I look around the rest of the American League, every team's best group of pitchers, or every team's ace, or who are just simply who are the best pitchers in the American League that aren't on the Tigers. Well, obviously with Kerry, you want as many right-handers as possible. You got Eovaldi, right-hander. You've got Hunter Brown. You've got DeGrom. You've got Valdez. You've got Brian Moo. So you're getting Kerry Carpenter in these lineups against most teams' best pitchers. The guys that you don't would be the Yankees with Max Fried and Garrett Crochet with Boston, who are arguably the two best guys on this list. So that's a little bit frightening, but hopefully you don't have to run into either of those teams in the postseason. And even if you do, it's only one game. The other thing with Kerry Carpenter, though, is when he is out there, he does put together some incredible at-bats. And the other, like, at the end of the day, like you said, Hinch has made it clear he's just not going to go up against the lefties. And what were last week the two biggest things that the Tigers fans, I think, were complaining about? The first of which was Veerling being either in the leadoff spot or in the two-hole with that, 200 average on the season. Veerling had really struggled, and A.J. Hinch continued to put him in the lineup. That was thing number one that the Tigers fans were complaining about. Thing number two is Kerry Carpenter doesn't get enough at-bats. Let him hit versus the lefties. You're taking him out of the game too early. I sit here and have a lot of complaints about this Tigers team. I'm bound to if I talk about them for 3 hours a day, every day this summer. And most of it comes from management. Upper management, that is. The one thing I have a really hard time doing is picking apart A.J. Hinch lineups and criticizing him for the decisions that he makes. Not to say I'm going to sit here and blindly agree with everything he does. I don't particularly like when he pinch hits Kerry Carpenter in the 5th or 6th inning. But he shut every fan up on Friday night when he takes Kerry Carpenter out of the lineup, puts in Matt Veerling for the split, and then Matt Veerling delivers a 3-run home run that goes on to have a significant impact on that Tigers win on Friday and helps them win the series against the Angels. That's the kind of stuff where I'm like, all right, Hinch really is a couple steps ahead. It feels ridiculous for me to sit here and bash him because more often than not, he's right than he is wrong.
Yeah, I totally agree. And that's one of those issues that when the Tigers are in a slump, you're quick to be like, well, Hinch has got to stop doing this. Why did he do that? And then when they're playing well, it's easy to praise A.J. Hinch. So that's why in all those situations, I'm never going to be the guy that's like, what are we doing this pinch hitting situation here? Like, you see that lineup they rolled out on Saturday? It was all righties. It was the first time they've done that all season.
Crazy.
Just because they actually had the utility to do it. Wenzel Perez, the lone non-full right-handed hitter in that lineup, but obviously the switchy, and then 8 other right-handed bats against the lefty Kikuchi of the Angels. So, yeah, I think that Hinch, when it comes to all these situational substitutions, defensively, at the plate, whatever it is, it's hard for me to get behind Tigers fans complaining about that. And it sucks that Matt Vierling gets put on the injured list right after this, too, because he finally had started to put together some stretches of good at-bats. It wasn't just that one homer. Like, he had been playing some good baseball in about 5 or 6 games.
Speaking of A.J. Hinch, he keeps doing one thing, or at least he did this weekend, that I almost think was to prove a point to Scott Harris. A.J. Hinch 2 days in a row plays Rafael Montero. Lets him go out there. He continues to put Rafael Montero in, and I'm starting to wonder if he is playing Rafael Montero this much for the sole purpose of, Scott Harris, this guy sucks. I cannot believe you brought him in here. Get him off this team, or I'm going to continue to show you just how bad he is. There's simply no explanation for why he's on this roster over Brendan Hanafy right now. And I'm not some Brendan Hanafy truther begging for him to come back and that he got dissed and that unfair odds stacked. No. Brendan Hanafy's been a little disappointing this season. He's better than Rafael Montero.
He also was in the best stretch of his season when he got sent down.
I have no effing idea why he's not on the team and Rafael Montero is. Rafael Montero's terrible. He's horrible. And he went out there twice this weekend and almost blew the game on 2 different occasions. Luckily, the Tigers' offense put up enough runs.
Yeah, I'm not sure why he pitched in back-to-back games.
I think A.J. Hinch is throwing him out there to prove, for Scott Harris to understand, I have to get this guy off the roster or he's a liability. And good for Hinch. Seriously, good for Hinch.
Is it that, or is it that they legit have no options in the bullpen anyways? You know?
Brendan Hanafy's but they can't even bring Hanafy up until September 10th because of some rule, because he got sent down, unless there's an injury. I really can't believe how often Montero's going out there.
Well, and I think the biggest fumble with this Hanafy situation is that Luke Jackson was waived a week after they sent Hanafy down, when they could have just waived Hanafy at the moment of the trade deadline, waived Luke Jackson at the time of the trade deadline and kept Hanafy on the roster because they had to make up a spot on the 40-man for Montero. So that made zero sense. The fact that they cut Luke Jackson, who they're paying $700K to, by the way, which I know that doesn't sound like a ton, well, in baseball terms, but it is for at least these Tigers project guys.
It is to light on fire.
Yeah, right, exactly.
2 outings for.
Well, and all these project guys they bring in are being waived by the other team and their contracts being paid for. Like Jackson, they had to pay him to bring him in after he got waived by Texas. So that was a really shocking one to me that they were just willing to bite the bullet on that immediately after the trade deadline when they could have just done it then. Made no sense. But yeah, I mean, Montero, we're going to see it with Chris Paddock here tonight. We saw with Cody Hewer in this weekend making his Tigers debut. A lot of these guys they got just aren't very good, right? Kyle Finnegan has been fine. I mean, he's been more than
great.
Fine. Yeah, he has. You're right. But it's just, I think it's less of A.J. Hinch, I need to show Scott Harris this guy sucks. No, they just don't have many other guys to put in the game either. They all kind of stink.
Unfortunate circumstance to find yourself in.
Yeah.
Considering how much of a need it was pre-deadline and how much of a need it still is post-deadline. Again, I don't want to sit here and talk about the deadline every day the rest of the summer, but it's frustrating to say the least. 989-837-6125. Hey, you got to go check out some more golf before the summer ends. You got to get to every course here in the Great Lakes Bay region. And if you're like me, you're looking for new places to play all the time, Apple Mountain's your place to go. If you want every round to come with a scene of scenic perfection. Championship-level courses, beautifully maintained, just the right mix of challenge and fun. And when you've wrapped up 18, head to the Apple Mountain Restaurant, the perfect place for casual elegance and spectacular views. Whether you're playing for score or just soaking in the atmosphere, Apple Mountain is your place to unwind, recharge, and enjoy the game. Apple Mountain in Freeland, minutes away, but just miles from ordinary. Whether you're an expert or you're just hanging around, you want to just drive the golf cart around for the person who is playing, all of it, you're going to enjoy it here at Apple Mountain. 989-837-6125. We'll get to some Mitt messages here when we come back, and then we'll take a trip around the league. It's the Ben Bosscher Show, live on 100.9 The Mitt.
The Ben Bosscher Show, built by Bresky Siding and Building Repair on 100.9 The Mitt.
Hi, this is Jim Mahoney with Link Technologies. If you are a business or a nonprofit organization wondering how to navigate today's technologies landscape, let Link Technologies' talented staff work with you to develop a technology plan custom to your specific needs. We bring 27 years of experience helping businesses and nonprofit organizations just like yours achieve their technology goals. Contact us today and see how the right balance between cloud and on-premise resources can best work for you.
The Michigan Baseball Foundation is more than just baseball. It's a driver of economic growth and community. Operating one of the nation's top minor league stadiums, MBF supports job creation and regional development. Through creative partnerships and charitable giving, MBF has helped bring projects like Dow Diamond, the East End Development, Fairfield Inn and Suites, the Plaza, and the Dow Bay Area Family YMCA to life, generating over $23 million annually in economic impact. Every Great Lakes Loons ticket supports these efforts. Learn more at MichiganBaseballFoundation.org.
Celebrate the 75th anniversary of a Peanuts Christmas with the Great Lakes Loons on Friday, August 29th. Relive the heartwarming classic in a festive atmosphere filled with nostalgia and holiday cheer. The team will also wear Peanuts-inspired jerseys that fans can bid on during a live online auction. For tickets, head to loons.com. This isn't just baseball. This is the Great Lakes Loons, everyone's hometown team.
I'm Ben Bosscher, and here's what I think. I think the Detroit Lions are going to be worse this season, but still go 12-5 and win the NFC North. I think the Minnesota Vikings are the biggest threat to steal the NFC North from the Detroit Lions. I think we got to taper back our expectations for Bryce Underwood, with him being an 18-year-old freshman and all. I think the lack of aggression from Scott Harris at the MLB trade deadline is going to haunt the Tigers for years to come. And I think you should listen to the Ben Bosscher Show weekdays from 9 to noon on 100.9 The Mitt, built by Bresky Siding and Building Repair, if you agree or disagree with anything I just said.
Local sports don't stop when the game ends, and neither do we. 100.9 The Mitt is your digital home for the latest news across the state of Michigan. From high school to college and the pros, it's all on our socials. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. Just search 100.9 The Mitt and join the squad. Stay locked in on the latest stats and stories with exclusive video takes from local talent. Sports Radio 100.9 The Mitt. From Midland to Bay City, Saginaw to Sanford. From Frankenmuth, Freeland, and Hemlock to Auburn, Essexville, and Pinconning, 100.9 The Mitt is the heartbeat of the Great Lakes Bay region, and proud of it. We're your home for local sports, local stories, and local pride. Whether you're in Birch Run, Beaverton, Gladwin, Chesaning, or Coleman, football, basketball, hockey, Spartans, NFL, Loons, all right here. 100.9 The Mitt, Mid-Michigan's sports leader.
Why are interscholastic sports called the last classroom of the day? Because they teach students important life lessons like teamwork, accountability, and perseverance. School sports are so much more than a game. They're about developing the whole person. That's why they're an essential part of every student's education.
Encourage your student to participate in the last classroom of the day. Interscholastic sports in Michigan. This message presented by the MHSAA and the Michigan Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association.
The Ben Bosscher Show, built by Bresky Siding and Building Repair on 100.9 The Mitt.
All right, let's get to some Mitt messages here. We're talking about this Tigers team and specifically Kerry Carpenter, how much of an impact he's made for the Tigers since he's returned from his injury and really the whole course of the season. 54-36 with him, 14-15 without him this season. Dwayne from Bay City says, who do we trust more with the game on the line, Kerry Carpenter or Riley Green? A pitcher will run up to face Riley Green and walk slowly to the mound to face Kerry. Kerry is a better hitter, point blank, period. Right now, it's got to be Kerry Carpenter, right?
Yeah.
Can I just say
so.
Gleyber Torres?
No, he's picking one of those two, you know?
Why do we keep coming back to this topic? It's such a fun topic of who do you trust with the game on the line. Look, man, the way Riley's swinging the bat right now, it's hard to choose him. I still think he's the best player on this team, but who do I trust with the game on the line? Like, who consistently delivers better at bats? The answer is probably Kerry Carpenter.
He also doesn't draw any walks. And not saying Riley Green has been drawing a ton of walks either, but yeah, he's probably right, though. Right now, it's probably Kerry Carp, yeah. But do we think that's going to last the whole year? I mean, you literally sold stock on Kerry Carp and bought stock on Riley Green.
Yeah, I mean, baseball's a funny sport because sometimes you're hot, sometimes you're not. And that's just the reality of this long of a season.
Only baseball's like that.
Well, I mean, like I think the swings throughout the season and the peaks and valleys are pretty extreme. Like, you don't get that in the football season. Yeah, it's also an
extremely long season, which that plays into that for sure.
There's double the amount of games in any other sport. Like, Shea doesn't have bad games, right? The best quarterbacks in the league don't have bad games. Even the best players in the league and guys that we think are the face of the franchise will have bad months, and that's kind of normal in baseball. Right now, I'd probably say Kerry Carpenter, but long term, let's not pretend like Kerry Carpenter's a better player, a more important player to the franchise, right?
Right.
It's still Riley Green. Right. I've never lost confidence that Riley Green's the guy here. It was just a pretty intense stretch of, oh my God, man, like this is a new low, and it just was so surprising that it could keep getting worse and worse and worse, and that's what ended up happening. I always knew like he's gonna peak again. He's not gonna stay in this valley forever. I just couldn't believe how low that valley got. That was the lowest it had ever been in his career, for sure.
Yeah, and hopefully it's all up from here, which it looked like it this weekend, man. Got that bomb to go, which was a liner, by the way. Pretty funny bomb. I think that diving catch he made almost like sparked something because that's when the bat got going. Couple hits on Friday. Yeah, it was a really good weekend for Riley Green. I think that he's kind of worked his way out of this major slump. He's still going to strike out, obviously, but
I get nervous every time he makes one of those diving catches. He makes them a lot.
That one that he had Friday was real. I mean, that one was crazy.
He said, 4 in the last couple of weeks that have been like that. But it just, in terms of when he's moving, it's just like, oh, my God, please get up. He truly has become one of the worst base runners in the league. It's not that he's dumb. He just provides nothing out there.
Different. I think that's saying one of the a worst base runner in the league is like Jazz Chisholm, who stood frozen when the ball was popped up. That's making dumb mistakes is worst in the league.
But he doesn't fit the Tigers' bill of first to third, second to home, trying to get that extra. But he can't do it.
He's just slow. I mean, I think that's a better way to put it. He just is slow. Can't really run very fast.
It looks like he just got stepped into a bear trap.
Yeah,
and that's how he's running around.
It looks like he runs like he was just shot in the hip. And then he's trying to run
hip
away.
Injection?
He's trying to run away from the guy that just shot him, that is how he runs.
Jay said, "Are we tired of Hinch consistently letting BP level Rafael Montero and Canely come in when the Tigers have worked so hard to get a lead?" Yes. I'm done with Tommy Canely, man. But the issue is there's no other options.
That was the point I'm making about Montero. It's like, I don't think Hinch is trying to prove a point. I think there just isn't other guys in the bullpen to put out there.
The 180 that Canely has had from the beginning of the year to now.
I thought it was a bad stretch for a minute. No, dude. He's straight up is bad.
And even at the beginning, I was like, this can't be real, right? This guy just only throws changeups and dominates. It was so fun, but it was like, there's no way this works. I didn't understand it, and now it's making a little bit more sense. Like, oh, it's because it doesn't really work. Like, once these hitters know that that's coming, it's pretty hard to sit back and not crush him.
Right.
Let's see. Let's do a couple more. In the chat, we've got Tigers are back because of Kerry Carpenter. Matty V, we love you. Please come back soon. That's from an unnamed YouTube chat. We got Sebastian saying, people worried about the Tigers. Other than the Brewers, all the top teams are struggling right now. Even the ones that have outrageous payrolls are sucking.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good point. And the Tigers also look at their upcoming schedule. I mean, I know that's something we keep coming back to. Like, oh, it doesn't matter who they're playing, but
it's a joke.
No, but that's not what I mean. Like, they're about to build up some wins here.
Oh,
they play the White Sox for 3 and the Twins for 4 more. Like,
they just lost the series to the Twins. So
what? They're gonna lose to them again?
I don't know. We were talking, and like, we don't have to make a topic out of this, but our little Tigers group chat that we had, we were kind of discussing last night, like, this team's just so weird because it feels like the season's either falling apart or they're the best team in baseball.
Yeah.
And there's not really an in-between, even though...
When, once again, if you would have told me on August 11th you're going to be 17 games above 500 and into a playoff spot. Like,
oh, sweet.
It'd be awesome, you know? Like, that's the weird part about this Tigers season. It's just like, I feel like I find myself disappointed more than not recently.
When they're in first.
Why is that the case, man?
It's turning into New York Yankees radio.
Yeah,
Can't be satisfied.
imagine being the Mets, dude. They've lost 7 straight.
Ugh.
You know, like a lot of these teams are just, and so that is a good comment from Sebastian because, like he said, other than the Brewers, who are literally on a tier of their own at this point as far as across the league, they've won 9 games in a row, and they are just playing. They're playing better baseball than anyone in every category. But other than them, all these other top teams are in the same situation as the Tigers are.
989-837-6125. How about we take a trip around the league?
It's time to zoom out and go around the league.
Yeah, Ben.
Football.
All right. We had a lot of football this weekend. It was preseason week 1. Officially, every team got involved in playing. So I figured, why don't I just toss out what some notable guys were doing. Rookies, maybe some guys that aren't rookies that are still playing in preseason. What did they do?
Okay.
And we'll kind of just talk about it.
Okay.
Does that sound pretty good?
Sounds fantastic.
Let's start off with the number 1 overall pick, Cam Ward. You thought I was going to pick Shedeur Sanders, Travis Hunter? No, let's talk about the guy that went 101.
I like this.
Cam Ward, by the way, these are all coming from ESPN. They did a preseason recap, and I kind of just took the ones that are important. He got up to a slow start, went 3 and out, but on the second drive, Cam Ward bounced back, completing 5 passes for 67 yards, 3 of them to Calvin Ridley for 50 yards, and he resulted in a touchdown from Tony Pollard. That was the lone 2 drives from Cam Ward, but man, that second drive, he looked pretty good.
Let me take some Cam Ward stock. I already bought some of it earlier this summer, so I'm not going to do it again today, but I really like this guy, and I don't think he gets talked about enough. Shedeur stole all the headlines this weekend. Shedeur stole all the headlines during the draft.
I'm doing the Shedeur, by the way, if you're on YouTube.
I didn't wear my watch today. I feel naked without it. But yeah, Cam Ward I think is just objectively the better quarterback. Even though Shedeur's probably always going to trump him in terms of who's a bigger star.
Especially after this weekend. That's another reason why maybe buying Cam Ward stock right now fits, because Shedeur is getting all the headlines after Friday.
That's not wrong. Look, man, I think Cam Ward's got all the talent in the world to be a franchise QB. It's just a matter of how much talent's around him in Tennessee. The answer right now is not a whole lot, but let's see if he can make the most of it.
Right. Yeah, I also forgot my bust down AP today, so I feel naked on my wrist, you know?
Yeah, no.
But Chris Paddock on my wrist is playing today. All right, sorry. One more thing, though, about this Titans game. Khalil Mullings was the leading rusher for Tennessee in this game, 33 rushing yards. You know who the backup quarterback is out in Tennessee, Ben? And this is something that isn't in a grand scheme of things I want to talk about. It's Tim Boyle. He threw 2 picks.
Nice.
Look, I know that we sit here and talk about, like, the Lions' backup quarterback, they're screwed if Goff gets hurt because it's Kyle Allen who's fine and Hooker sucks. So does every other backup quarterback in the league, dude. Looking at all these preseason games this weekend, dude, there are so many bad backups. There's probably 5 good ones.
Milton.
Does he even count?
Milton's like a theoretical.
He just has some upside.
Trey Lance looks really good this weekend.
He's in that same group as Milton for me. You don't trust him if he comes in the game.
Gardner Minshew.
Yeah, I would say Minshew.
Teddy.
Is Teddy, like, does he really even count? I guess he does.
He signed with the
Bucs,
Bucs,
you're right.
didn't he?
He probably does now. And, like, Jameis. And there's obviously a few others.
Jameis is not good. We need to stop this narrative. Jameis is bad. He goes out there and actively hurts the team.
I am not here for the slander of Jameis Winston.
It's not slander. It's factual.
It's major
He goes
slander,
out there
actually.
and he hurts the team.
You just said I don't like Jameis Winston. That's crazy.
I wouldn't like Jameis Winston if he was and if I had to watch him on a week-to-week basis, you lose games.
He literally hit the Heisman last week.
They lose games when he's out there.
All right, let's move on. To Shedeur Sanders. Yes, I know we had to talk about him. Man, he shined in the first half of that Cleveland game. He ended up playing into the third quarter a little bit as well. 14 of 23, 138 yards, 2 touchdowns, both coming in the first half. Looked pretty darn good, Ben.
Should we do an updated who do we think starts for the Browns?
Well, their other guys are hurt, so it's probably still Joe Flacco. But there's no way they start Shedeur week 1. Just based off of this, right? There's no way. Now, as far as who's more likely to play after Joe Flacco, Shedeur might be on number 2 now. With Kenny Pickett going to miss some time. I think Gabriel's back from injury, but, like, Dylan Gabriel could be the worst draft pick in 2025.
Maybe.
Like, why did they pick him? Just for their situation. Yeah.
I give up on predicting what's going to happen with this Browns thing. Look, at the end of the day, I think Shedeur's going to find himself in a starting role eventually.
Yeah.
That seems inevitable, but
he'll start the second most games on the Browns this year. That's my prediction. Okay, let's move on to his boy. Travis Hunter made his debut. Everyone's super excited to see what he does, offense and defense. He plays 10 snaps on offense, all coming with the first team on the opening drive. 2 catches for 9 yards. And then he flipped it around and played 8 snaps on defense on the opening drive. And just had 1 missed tackle. Wasn't really involved in any plays defensively. But
yeah, everyone blew that missed tackle out of proportion.
Of course they did.
It went all over Twitter. Saw it on my timeline 100 times, and every time I blocked that account. It's like, nope, my timeline will never be allowed to have negative Travis Hunter conversations.
Yes. But nonetheless, he was out there, for every play, offense and defense, when he was. So yeah. I don't know if you saw this, though, Ben. Well, I know you did. Also in this Jags-Steelers game, Cam Little, kicker for the Jags, bangs a 70-yarder. Whoa. Man, this sucks that this isn't going to actually count as the record.
Yeah, but I feel like it's only a matter of time. I think we're going to get one this year. I really do.
The record is 66. He just topped it by 4 yards.
Brandon Aubrey tried it out there for a 70, and then they called a timeout and punted it, right? I think that's what happened last year.
I'm pretty sure he kicked a 70-yarder last year.
And he missed?
I'm pretty sure. I could be wrong, I guess.
I think it happens this year. I really do.
It might be Cam Little. They might just send him out there for it. He went 4-4 in this game, too.
It's the evolution of the game. It's the evolution of humans. Just better athletes than they were.
Right.
And I think now we're finally starting to see that in the kicker department.
For sure. Let's talk about one more rookie quarterback who, once again, shined, man. All these rookie QBs who played looked pretty good, at least the first rounders and Shedeur. Jackson Dart went 12-19 for 154 yards and a touchdown. Had a beautiful 40-yard over-the-top touchdown pass as well. And then on the flip side, the other first-rounder for the Giants, Abdul Carter, just played on the opening drive, had 6 snaps, but added 2 pressures in those 6 snaps.
He's such a freak of nature. I don't really care what Jackson Dart did. He'll get in eventually, but Wilson's going to be the starter for the foreseeable future for that team. Not foreseeable future, but at least the first month of the season.
Who also played in this game just for a little bit as well.
I'm way more intrigued as to what Abdul Carter can do right to open things up. Because if he can be a monster week 1, and it's like, oh, this guy, there's a reason he went 3rd overall, suddenly that Giants defensive line becomes a legitimate problem for everyone else. Now, with that being said, the rest of their team's so bad and their schedule's so tough that they might not win a singular game this year. But at least you have one thing you can point to that's awesome.
Right.
The defensive line.
We'll just quickly note these NFC North things. Not a major big deal, but we'll just get them out of the way. A couple starting quarterbacks did play in the NFC North. Both Jordan Love and J.J. McCarthy got the opening drives. Jordan Addison also playing in preseason. That was just kind of, obviously I know he's allowed to play, but when I saw him out there, I was just like, oh, that's kind of weird, because he's going to miss the first 3 games due to suspension. But Matt Golden caught Jordan Love's only pass. Love went 1 of 5 for a 7-yard completion to Golden on his first drive. And then J.J. McCarthy, like I said, only played in that opening one. We'll end things off with this, Ben. Travion Henderson, 100 yards to the house to open up the Pats-Commanders game. Only played a little bit offensively, had 1 carry for 18 yards, 3 catches for 12 yards. But, man, looked pretty good on that opening kickoff.
Is it safe already to say that Travion Henderson better pick than Quinshon Judkins?
I think that's definitely safe.
Yeah, is that wrap it up for the career?
Still unsigned. Will he ever get signed?
Will he ever play football professionally?
I don't know. Yes, he will, because these guys always, it's the NFL, you only get out of the league permanently for gambling, not stuff like this, which is super unfortunate, but that's just kind of how it works. So, there's a couple other things, but they're not that notable, so we don't need to get to them. But I do need to throw this in.
Okay.
Somehow CeeDee Lamb got tackled and flagged in a game he wasn't playing in.
Yeah, everyone was clowning on the officials for this. I think
this is
this
all
was totally
CeeDee Lamb.
on CeeDee Lamb. Pay attention to the game or get off the field, man.
Yeah.
You weren't suited up to play, and you got ran over by an official. What do you think was going to happen when you were turn your back to the play and you were on the field?
Yeah, I don't know if you didn't see this, Joe Milton was throwing a deep ball down the sideline, and CeeDee Lamb just was celebrating because he knew it was going to be a completion. He turns around, throws his hands up, and he's on the white markers on the sideline, which are meant for the officials to run on. The official's sprinting but looking at the play, so he's obviously not looking right in front of him, and it looked like that had to have hurt for both of them.
Oh, the
it
whiplash
was
on that.
A major collision, and then the Cowboys got a 15-yard penalty for it.
Yeah, and CD was mad about it. It's like, dude,
get off the field. Yeah, am I not drafting him in fantasy now? Man, that scared me a little bit. I'm not going to lie.
A little whip. He's got a few weeks to recover.
Yeah. All right, that's going to end things for around the league.
989-837-6125. We've got some more Mitt messages to get to. We've got some more Tiger stuff to get to. We'll get back to the Lions in the 10 o'clock hour and continue our stock exchange. But there is a few Lions careers maybe are coming to an end. That is next here. Ben Bosscher Show, 100.9 The Mitt.
The Ben Bosscher Show, built by Bresky Siding and Building Repair on 100.9 The Mitt.
Ugh, the outside of my house needs a total makeover. The siding is faded, the gutters are falling off, and the roof is leaking.
What is that falling from the sky?
Super Bresky!
Who are you?
Super Bresky!
Excuse me?
I'm here to tell you, Bresky Siding and Building Repair can fix your house in no time. All you have to do is call my dad, and your house will look as good as new.
Call me, Derek Bresky, at Bresky Siding and Building Repair today.
Transform your outdoor space with Maple Hill Nursery. Whether you're a gardening enthusiast or just looking to relax in style, they have everything you need. From premium polywood furniture that never needs painting to top quality plants and trees, Maple Hill Nursery has it all. Plus, they offer free setup and delivery on in-stock barbecue grills. Visit them today just north of Midland Mall or check out their website for pro tips and expert advice. Maple Hill Nursery, making your yard the place to be.
Looking for the perfect golf getaway? Tee up at Sandy Ridge Golf Course, Midland's hidden gem. Whether you're a scratch golfer or just out for fun, Sandy Ridge offers a beautifully maintained 18-hole course, friendly staff, and unbeatable rates, plus a brand new clubhouse. Book your tee time today at sandyridgegolfcourse.com or call 989-631-6010. Sandy Ridge Golf Course, where great golf meets pure Michigan beauty.
Greater Midland is bringing the heat this summer. Hit the pavement for Run the River on August 1st, Midland's scenic summer run along the Tridge. Then, cheer on the hometown heroes at the Loons Pennant Race Night, August 8th at Dow Diamond. Rally your crew July 11th through 13th for the sizzling Pig and Pit Pickleball Tournament at the Tennis Center. And don't miss the pros at the APP Great Lakes Open, August 13th through 17th. World-class pickleball right here in Midland. Get in the game at greatermidland.org, where summer plays big.
When the summer heat is on, keep your cool with Answer Heating and Cooling. Our expert team specializes in fast, reliable air conditioning repairs, installations, and maintenance. Stay comfortable all season long with top-notch cooling solutions and simply outstanding service. Plus, with financing options and special rebates, cooling your home has never been more affordable. Answer Heating and Cooling, where comfort is our priority. Try our new schedule online option or call us today.
Celebrate the 75th anniversary of a Peanuts Christmas with the Great Lakes Loons on Friday, August 29th. Relive the heartwarming classic in a festive atmosphere filled with nostalgia and holiday cheer. The team will also wear Peanuts-inspired jerseys that fans can bid on during a live online auction. For tickets, head to loons.com. This isn't just baseball. This is the Great Lakes Loons, everyone's hometown team. This is more than just a lineup. It's a daily ritual for the die-hard Michigan sports fans. At 6 a.m., Anthony Bellino wakes up the state with Spin on Sports.
I do not believe it.
At 9, the Ben Bosscher Show is appointment listening hosted here in the Great Lakes Bay region.
I would like to buy some Casey Mine stock.
America's Best takes over at noon. The Herd with Colin Cowherd.
Well, what about Patrick Mahomes?
And at 3, Bill Simonson brings it home on The Huge Show. Sports Radio 100.9 The Mitt, for the most passionate fans in Michigan.
When it comes to a gun suicide attempt, all it takes is a moment.
Heather and I had an argument just like any other couple. I was lost.
I had snapped, I had a gun, and I was going to take my own life. Heather helped me realize that there was still a life to live for the better of myself, my family. My weapon is now safely put away.
A moment of crisis can happen to anyone. Store your guns, locked, unloaded, and away from ammo. Hear more safe stories at endfamilyfire.org. Brought to you by Brady and the Ad Council.
The Ben Bosscher Show, built by Bresky Siding and Building Repair on 100.9 The Mitt.
(989-837-6125). There's a few different Lions careers that I think have essentially, for all intents and purposes, come to an end over the past week. Hendon Hooker joining that list. Like I said at the beginning, maybe he sticks around as a third option emergency quarterback, but I think that ship has basically sailed with Hooker, even though he's a young guy. They might just have to cut ties and open this spot up for someone else because he's a disaster every time he's out there. I always say Giovanni Manu is the worst Brad Holmes draft pick of all time. It actually ended up might being Hendon Hooker because he is useless when he's out there, actively hurting the team every time he goes out there. Ennis Rakestraw, I don't think his career with the Lions is done, but it might be done. You don't get to go.
You think so?
No, he'll be back next year for training camp, but you don't get to miss the first 2 years of your career. And then nobody misses the first 2 years of their career and then has a nice career after that. It might just be done just like that.
Look, I mean, but that's this conversation, right? Whose careers are done. Ennis Rakeshaw's career is not done.
Yeah, but do you really think he's ever going to turn into a contributor for this team? As much as negative as I sound, sorry, man, you don't get to miss the first 2 years of your career in the NFL and then have a positive career.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be a tough road ahead. That's for sure. But I don't know. I think saying his career is done. He does not, at least compared to these other guys that you're about to talk about, he is not in this group.
Okay, Colby Sorsdale. His career is done. He got put on IR, which means he's probably out for the year unless they want to waive him and nobody picks him up, which I guess is possible, and you can put him on the practice squad. But, yeah, that's a Brad Holmes draft pick that just simply did not work out. Goodbye. Thank you for trying to learn every position on the offensive line. Turns out you're not good at any of them. Getting out, beat out by UDFAs now. So, thanks for your service, Colby Sorsdale. I'm all set.
Yeah.
Career done.
I agree.
The one that I was pretty convinced his career was done, but now I guess I don't exactly know, is the 2022 third-round pick, Broderick Martin, who they traded up to go get. 97th overall, I want to say. He actually had a really good preseason game and was making some splash plays, some plays in the backfield for the first time ever. Right? I don't think I can point to three things that this guy's ever done. Didn't really play the first 2 years of his career. And when he did play, was just a liability out there. Kind of a little overweight, didn't really contribute anything. Was supposed to just eat space, but didn't even do that very well. But was making some splash plays on Friday, and maybe he does have a spot on this roster with how banged up and how thin they are at defensive line.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Do you think so? Do you put him in this group then, or are you kind of just monitoring it throughout the rest of preseason?
I'm monitoring it the rest of preseason.
Because I think
he's on the fence, right? Because I would have said before Friday,
that's what I was just
this guy's
say.
Getting cut for sure. But he actually put together a nice performance.
Yeah. I would say Sorsdal is the lock-in for sure guy right now.
Yeah, he's done. He'll never, I don't think
Which
he'll
is
be back
weird
again.
because out of all these guys, and all these bust picks you could put on everyone, he's the lone one that has actually gotten real game reps.
Yeah, which is even more evidence that
of course,
he's
because
just not going to.
Even a guy like Manu and Hendon Hooker and Broderick Martin, yeah, you can say that, they don't work out in training camp, they haven't performed, but they haven't really played in a real game, a ton of actual snaps, whereas Colby Sorsdal has gotten that opportunity before.
At a handful of different spots, too.
Yeah.
I think they like the guy.
And he's gotten thrown in, but at the end of the day, he's getting thrown into the best offensive line when he has gone in, and hasn't stacked up to the rest of them. So.
No, and then you can throw a guy like Christian Mahogany in for two different starts last year.
Looks a lot better.
Yeah, he looked like
extremely better.
Fit right in. Yeah. Colby Sorsdale's been here for 3 seasons now and has been a project
and was a reach at the time, just like some of these other guys have been. So I mean, we're not sitting here saying Brad Holmes sucks at drafting, obviously, but also there's some misses, which happens with every single GM.
Well, it speaks to the depth of the team that they have the ability to just kind of part ways
this early into their careers as well.
Right. They have the ability to part ways and kind of give up on guys after giving them every opportunity. Some of these guys just don't work out. Look, man, to the Ennis point, like, he's going to be back. They're going to give him another run, but I'm not at all going to be surprised if they get through training camp next year and it's just like, yeah, he's kind of just like the third string corner and he's just not very good. You know how hard it is to come back and have put together any sort of NFL career after missing your first 2 seasons? He's out all of this year. He had, 2 game reps or 2 games played last year, and it was mostly just like a snap here or there.
Yeah. Look, Joel Embiid did it in the NBA and won an MVP. That's all I'm going to say.
Okay. That seems a little bit different.
No.
It's possible in the NBA, I guess, but in the NFL at that sort of position, you need reps.
There also just
isn't
not
getting
like we discussed this. Like, even if he was healthy, when was he going to play this year?
He wasn't.
You know, there just wasn't a spot for him.
He was also a mess that first preseason game against Chargers. Granted, everybody was for the most part, but he kind of stuck out as bad. Where Rocky Sin, like, definitely would have jumped him. He already had jumped
last
him on
week
the
too, which
depth
was
chart.
kind of surprising. He played a little bit last week again, right?
You mean on Friday?
Yeah.
Well, they played him at safety this past week.
Well, that's what I'm saying though. I just feel like, I guess kind of to throw him there and see that spot, but
he's to me
he's
now
earned a
locked
spot.
himself
Yeah,
up
exactly.
to be a roster player.
For
I don't
sure.
know if he was before preseason started, but
that's why I thought maybe he wasn't going to play because he's absolutely making the roster now. You know.
Now I would think with still 2 preseason games left, which almost seems like insane at this point. Like, I don't know why the Lions and Chargers still have to play 4 preseason games while everyone else only has to play 3. I don't want them to play anybody, but they're going to have to because there's roster cutdowns at some point.
Yeah.
They should just forfeit.
Hey, they did it last time. They can do it again, right?
It's just not worth any like real player getting hurt. And
Yeah.
It feels like every time you go out there, something's only bad things can happen in these preseason games for a team like the Lions.
I'm looking forward to actually getting to hear the Benetti call of this game because obviously he didn't get to this past weekend. But yeah, I heard that he handled that situation of everything pretty delicately, which I can.
Well, he's a professional.
Yeah, exactly. I can only assume that he did because he's the GOAT.
He really is. This Saturday, the Lions will have their first home preseason game against the Dolphins with some joint practices this week as well. And then I believe there's more joint practices against the Texans next week, but don't quote me on that. The joint practices, I think, are more fun to attend than an actual preseason game.
Oh, yeah, because it's like...
Have you ever been there for a joint practice?
No, but I've just heard... I mean, I see like all the clips and I see the beat writers talking about it all the time when it happens. Like, just from... They're just going at it, It's not like there's no fans, really. I mean, like, you know what I mean? Like a game-like fan experience, so...
There's no flags.
Yeah.
That's the thing. You can start jawing at each other. It was... Kirby Joseph got into it with the Giants last season at one of those joint practices.
There's always fights at them.
Who does Tyreek Hill start a fight with this week?
Oh, man.
Terrion?
Probably Kirby Joseph, honestly.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
That's like minus odds to happen.
Yeah, for sure.
989-837-6125. Hey, what are you guys buying? What are you selling your stock on after this weekend? We'll finish up our stock exchange when we come back and get to a couple Mitt messages. It's the Ben Bosscher Show on 100.9 The Mitt.
The Ben Bosscher Show, built by Bresky Siding and Building Repair on 100.9 The Mitt.
It's time to remember that. With Kyle Sandel.
Presented by Matt Larson, Farm Bureau agent, located downtown Midland. So over the weekend, we got to see the Lions play in their second preseason game, and some unfortunate circumstances ended the game early. It sounds like Maurice Norris is doing well, which is super good to hear. But I want to talk about what we saw from the rookies early on in that game, because we did get to see both the Lions' first and second round picks in action, Tyleik Williams and Tate Ratledge. This came as a little bit of a surprise to me because the Lions have been pretty clear on their stance on preseason with their starters ever since Brad Holmes and Dan Campbell have taken over. The starters just really don't play in preseason. A lot of teams will throw out some of their starters for a drive or two, but the Lions really consistently haven't. Tyleik Williams, Tate Ratledge, both going to be starters. But with them being rookies, they obviously got a little bit of action in this game against the Falcons. And man, I want to talk about Tyleik Williams. He is going to be a problem. I think I'm already ready to declare that Brad Holmes has done it again. Was out there for nearly every play during the first quarter as well defensively, was stuffing the run, was getting double-teamed a ton by this Falcons offensive line, and still was able to make an impact. With Aleem McNeil going to be out for at least half the season, potentially more, probably near Thanksgiving is when we'll maybe get a return. Tyleik Williams is under a lot of pressure to perform right away as a rookie, but from the glimpses I saw from him this weekend, I'm fully confident that he's going to be able to do it. Remember that. Presented by Matt Larson, Farm Bureau agent located downtown Midland.
For 100 years, Forward Energy has been more than just a home heat and fuel provider. We've been a part of your community, and you've been a part of our family through every storm, every season, and every moment. We've been right here, keeping you warm and safe. As your hometown energy provider, we deliver more than just propane. We deliver peace of mind with reliable service, quality you can count on, and a commitment to always being there when you need us most. Forward Energy, 100 years strong, fueled by family, powered by community.
Get ready, Michigan. Field of Frames Fest presented by Dow is taking over Dow Diamond September 26th through 28th. It's the ultimate celebration of gaming, esports, and community, bringing together fans, families, players, and industry pros for a 3-day festival like no other. Watch elite teams battle in high-stakes competition, the Valorant Collegiate Invitational and Rocket League Semi-Pro Showdown, each with $10,000 prize pools, a $5,000 Super Smash Bros. Open Tournament, and a 17U Fortnite Youth Tournament with $1,000 up for grabs. There's live music, entertainment, and activities for all ages, plus educational panels and hands-on workshops for those interested in tech, business, and gaming industries. Tickets start at just $25, and kids 10 and under get in free. Don't miss your chance to be part of a landmark event. Visit fieldofFramesFest.com to grab your tickets today. Field of Frames. Experience the element of gaming.
The Ben Bosscher Show is brand new, and to celebrate, we want to make sure one listener is a big winner every Wednesday.
That's what this is all about. It always has been about.
Every Wednesday this summer at 10:15 a.m., we're giving away 2 tickets to your favorite Major League Baseball team, the Detroit Tigers. This is your chance to head to Comerica Park on us, and thanks to our friends over at Garber Chevrolet Midland. Again, Detroit Tigers tickets every Wednesday at 10:15 a.m. on the Ben Bosscher Show on 100.9 The Mitt.
From Midland to Bay City, Saginaw to Sanford, from Frankenmuth, Freeland, and Hemlock to Auburn, Essexville, and Pinconning, 100.9 The Mitt is the heartbeat of the Great Lakes Bay region, and proud of it. We're your home for local sports, local stories, and local pride. Whether you're in Birch Run, Beaverton, Gladwin, Chesaning, or Coleman, football, basketball, hockey, Spartans, NFL, Loons, all right here. 100.9 The Mitt, Mid-Michigan's sports leader. From the hometown heroes to the college legends to the pros on Sunday, 100.9 The Mitt is your home for wall-to-wall play-by-play coverage. High school football, basketball, and hockey.
Region champions for the first time in school history.
Michigan State football and basketball.
Touchdown, MSU!
The NFL, Thursday, Sunday, and Monday night primetime games. And don't think we forgot about your hometown team. The Great Lakes Loons.
That ball's over and out of here.
100.9 The Mitt.
A game without a crowd is just a scrimmage. A performance without an audience is just a rehearsal. Without your presence, high school sports and the performing arts aren't possible. Ensure that these essential extracurricular activities continue to enrich the lives of students in Michigan. Purchase a ticket to your local high school's game or performance.
This message presented by the MHSAA and the Michigan Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association.
The Ben Bosscher Show, built by Bresky Siding and Building Repair on 100.9 The Mitt.
All right, what else are we buying and selling our stock on, Kyle? Round number 2 of the stock exchange.
You know what? I'm not leaving.
I'm not leaving.
The stock market.
The show goes on.
All right, Kyle, kick us off once again. What are you buying? What are you buying? What are you selling?
Look, I think I did this last week and the week before, and maybe even the week before. I'm buying Tyleik Williams stock again.
I did the same thing.
Look, finally we got to see him play in a real game, and everything that I have hoped for and dreamed for of Tyleik Williams is up to standard. I mean, you just heard my remember that. The guy was out there for the whole first quarter and was looking like a dog. I mean, he was getting double-teamed nearly every single time by this Falcons offensive line, still making an impact, stuffing the run. Definitely was, I mean, he was out there more than I thought he would be as far as like a down-to-down perspective. Was out there essentially for every down. But yeah, I'm super in on Tyleik Williams, buying more of his stock currently.
He was such a great space eater in turn. Like, he basically drew a double team every single play. I think he registered 0 stats, 0 tackles, 0 pressures, 0 anything. which is the perfect reason to buy stock on him because he played such a great game despite that. Sometimes it doesn't show up on the box score, but he had this one play where he draws a double team, absolutely holds his grounds, like doesn't give up anything, and then Zach Cunningham, the linebacker, comes and fills the gap where one of those offensive linemen probably should have picked him up, and he just hits the gap perfectly and hits the running back for no gain. That's all Tyleik Williams. Like, Cunningham got the stat for that. Cunningham got the tackle, so good for him. But, like, he doesn't make that play without Tyleik Williams holding his ground with the double team. I loved everything I saw from him, even though he didn't show up on the box score. That is exactly why I also wrote him down for buying stock on.
Yeah. No, you just wrote him down because I did, you know.
I didn't even know you wrote it down.
Okay.
I'm buying stock on Kyle Allen. He's quarterback 2 now, right?
Yeah, sure.
It's that simple.
I mean, he's never going to play. If he does, like, we're screwed still.
Yeah, but the depth chart hasn't officially come out for game number 3 in the preseason. I'd imagine Kyle Allen's going to be the second string quarterback. So I'll just sell it once that comes out.
Okay, that's fair. I'm going to sell on the ESPN Fantasy Football app.
Yeah.
The app as a whole. Selling my stock on that. You would think, why would you sell the stock right now? It's about to be prime football season. It's about to be probably my 3rd most used app, I would say. 4th most used app.
What's 2?
During fall, well, I'll have, like, Twitter as 1. And then probably... You know what I'm saying? Yeah, not fantasy-wise. I'm just saying apps on my phone. Like, from September to December, Sleeper and ESPN Fantasy app are in the top 4 of apps used on my phone, screen time-wise. But ESPN's about to be in it, so why would I sell it? Look, man, they changed the way it looks. It looks worse, for sure. It's more zoomed in, so you can't even see your full lineup on the same page. And 2, like, are we still using ESPN Fantasy app, dude? Sleeper,
if you are, you're out. You're missing the new update.
And I will say, I've never used Sleeper for a redraft league. All my redraft leagues are on ESPN Fantasy, which I'm in 1 of them, 2 of them. True traditional ones. I just don't love the app, man. Sleeper is just the way better fantasy football app. So I'm selling the ESPN Fantasy app stock right now.
I'm selling my stock on that kid who dressed up as an umpire during that Cardinals-Cubs game.
I missed this.
You didn't see this?
No.
Some kid stood up completely dressed like a major league umpire at this game.
Like behind home plate?
I don't know where his seats
there,
were, but he was standing in the aisle and just doing balls and strikes throughout the course of the game.
You didn't think that's funny?
I think that kid probably gets bullied.
Oh, man.
I think that kid's probably like the biggest stickler, tattletale ever. Like some kids like passing notes and sharing answers in the back of Miss Jenny's 5th grade class, and he's like, Miss Jenny, and he like completely rats them out. That kid's I don't think I'd be good friends with that kid if I was in 5th grade or however old he was. Real big rule follower, I think that guy was.
For dressing up like an umpire.
Yeah, enforces every rule. Like if your dream,
you don't think it was just as like a joke to dress up as an ump?
No, I think that's like his dream. And like, hey, I'm not trying to crap on the kid's dreams. If this kid wants to be an umpire when he grows up, good for him. But I kind of think anyone who from a young age is like, I want to be an official, you're like maybe a little bit too much of a rule follower, and B, a little power hungry. I just don't think I'd be good friends with this kid if I was his age. Be like, here he comes.
Interesting take of yours.
Nobody takes seconds before everyone's eating. Well, Johnny's around. He's going to rat you out.
This is like a John take from you. Just a really random thing to be this passionate about. Okay, I will switch things up. So obviously we talked about this a lot on the show, but it was grit night last Friday at the Lions game or at the Loons game, and a ton of Lions jerseys were being worn, like a crap ton. And we talked about jerseys on the show, so I don't need to like dive into too much of that. But Brad and John basically did this whole thing about like you're a loser if you wear jerseys. I'm buying stock on jerseys, dude. I think wearing jerseys is cool, like in the right context. If your team is playing a game, I'm rocking their jersey, dude. I think a football jersey is totally I wear a football jersey every Sunday, the whole day.
Yeah, I just ordered a Penny Soul one.
Yeah,
so.
like, and the jersey, like I did say, like, yeah, if Brad wears a jersey, it's kind of weird, right?
I just think there's a time and place. Like, I wouldn't wear it. out to the bar on a random Friday night anymore. Like, I think that was a college thing, and even in college, I think I started to realize,
jersey
like,
you can. I think football jersey's different. The basketball jerseys to the bar, no. I think a football jersey you could.
I'd be too scared of someone spilling something on it.
Sure, I guess. I mean, that's any.
But I don't think there's anything wrong with wearing a Lions jersey around on a Sunday.
No, I don't think any jersey on a Sunday. I'm a pro wear a jersey to the beach guy. Like if you're going to the
weird.
No, how's that any different than a tank top?
I don't know.
You don't know?
I think it's just weird.
Oh yeah, okay.
I'd get too hot. I'd get too hot.
Yeah, it's just okay, sure.
The last thing I wanted to sell my stock on was the Little League World Series.
Oh,
I just don't. I don't understand the appeal to it.
Come on,
it's too young of kids to be like super invested in, and then they cut to the parents who are like life or death. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm selling stock on the parents and the coaches of the Little League World Series.
Maybe that's more.
Maybe not the players themselves.
There's just something about it because it was on the TV here. I don't remember what day it was before a Loons game, and I was just kind of like, I don't like this. I can't really put my finger on what it is, but it just seems a little too political for 12-year-old Johnny. 989-837-6125. Back to Jared Goff when we come back. It's the Ben Bosscher Show.
The Ben Bosscher Show, built by Bresky Siding and Building Repair on 100.9 The Mitt. Tired of floors that snore? Walls that whisper, meh? Premier Tile in Midland is here to spice things up one tile at a time. They've got backsplash that'll make your pasta jealous.
What?
Shower walls that'll actually sing in the morning. And floors so fabulous, you'll consider eating dinner off them. Stylish, affordable, slightly obsessed with grout. Visit Premier Tile, located between Stark and Sturgeon, right off US 10, or at PremierTileStone.com.
Ace is the place with the helpful hardware, folks.
Ace Hardware and Sports in downtown Midland has some extra savings for rewards members this month. Let's clean up that yard. Save $3 instantly on select Roundup and Ortho weed killers. Save $10 on 64-ounce spruce, weed, and grass killer. You know what season it is? Grilling season. Free assembly and delivery on grills, $399 and up from brands like Weber and Traeger. Need that deck touched up? Do it and save $10 instantly on a gallon of Cabot exterior stain.
At the Great Lakes Loons, our commitment to community goes beyond the ballpark. Through the Volunteer program, Loons staff and even players roll up their sleeves to serve the Great Lakes Bay region. From packing food boxes to reading in classrooms and even cleaning up local camps and parks, it's hands-on work that helps build a stronger, more connected community. Volunteer isn't just what we do, it's who we are. Because being part of this region means showing up when it counts. The Great Lakes Loons, serving the Great Lakes Bay region since 2007.
Celebrate the 75th anniversary of a Peanuts Christmas with the Great Lakes Loons on Friday, August 29th. Relive the heartwarming classic in a festive atmosphere filled with nostalgia and holiday cheer. The team will also wear Peanuts-inspired jerseys that fans can bid on during a live online auction. For tickets, head to loons.com. This isn't just baseball. This is the Great Lakes Loons, everyone's hometown team. We're in your town, your school, your huddle. 100.9 The Mitt is here for sports fans in the Great Lakes Bay region. From the hardwoods of Saginaw to Midland's Friday Night Lights. From the streets of Bay City to Freeland, Frankenmuth, and Hemlock. We roll through Beaverton, Auburn, Pinconning, Essexville, and Shepherd. All the way to Gladwin, Birch Run, Coleman, and Bridgeport. This is your sports station. High school, college, NFL, the Loons. It's all right here. 100.9 The Mitt, Mid-Michigan sports leader.
Hey, I'm Ben Bosscher.
And I'm Kyle Sandel.
And the two of us are live every weekday on 100.9 The Mitt at 9 a.m. until noon, giving you opinions on the teams that you care about the most.
The Lions, Tigers, Red Wings, Pistons, those teams.
And a whole lot more. Whether we're breaking down a game from the night before, debating the biggest news from the day, or doing a draft or spread picks, we're always having fun. I mean, come on, it's our job to talk about sports. How could we not be having fun?
So if the big games aren't enough for you, if you're a real diehard fan, this show is going to be perfect for you. You can count on us to be your morning sports outlet every day.
The Ben Bosscher Show with Ben Bosscher and Kyle Sandel on 100.9 The Mitt.
From the Blazy Electric Studios, this is Sports Radio 100.9 The Mitt. WLUN, Pinconning, Bay City, Saginaw, Midland.
Alrighty, 989-837-6125. Let's jump right back into it. It's the same way we started out the show. But I want to ask the people, is there anyone with more pressure on them in the Lions organization than Jared Goff? Jared Goff now has a worse offensive line, no longer has Ben Johnson, has a brutal schedule in terms of the defenses that they have to play, and has also had back-to-back playoff stinkers. Jared Goff, in order to really make this contract worth it, the Lions have to win a Super Bowl. And you're already starting to see the Jared Goff contract come into play and cause some cracks in this Lions team. We saw it with Alex Anzalone, and that's only the first domino to fall. And the Lions didn't have another decision, right? They didn't have another choice. The Lions had no other choice but to pay Jared Goff because Hendon Hooker is terrible. We all are well aware of that now. But at the end of the day, your decision to pay him is going to hinder your ability to pay everyone else. Therefore, there is more pressure on him to perform. And now that he is less protected by his offensive line and his play caller and the NFL schedule coming through, I just think there's a lot of pressure on this guy to play to the standard of an NFL Super Bowl caliber quarterback. We talk about all these differences in this Lions team, what this team's going to look like with two new coordinators. We can recap all that stuff. But at the end of the day, if the Lions are going to win a Super Bowl, it has to be because Jared Goff is playing the best football of his career. We saw it for the most part last year. But again, the circumstances and the situation's a little bit different. We can throw all the pressure on Johnny Morin and start blaming him if the offense goes downwards. But at the end of the day, I think this simply just comes down to whether or not Jared Goff is playing the best ball of his career.
What do you think that is you feel this way, what is the main factor that adds in this Jared Goff pressure thing? Because you've laid out the basically three big reasons, but is there one that outweighs the other, or is it just the combination of all three with the contract, the new offensive coordinator, and the offensive line? Because to me, there's one that sticks out, but I'm interested to see what you have to think.
I don't think there's one specific one that sticks out. I think all three things are contributing to the way I think right now.
Yeah. I think the offensive line is the big part. Just because of the quarterback style that Jared Goff plays, if the pressure gets to him on the interior, and I know we're using that word a lot today, I mean real physical pressure from the defensive line gets to him on that interior with no Frank Ragnow, it doesn't matter what play John Morton calls. It doesn't matter that his contract is kicking in. Like, that's when Jared Goff becomes this different type of quarterback that the Lions fans haven't seen very often and we don't want to see very often, right? When he's under this type of pressure and can't really do much and goes down really easily. So I think that the offensive line is the big reason why we make this Jared Goff is under a ton of pressure this season, because all of those external factors coming into play, but that's got to be the big one.
Who else would even be in this conversation for most pressure under? I think Johnny Morton is to some extent, but I would almost make the argument Dan Campbell hiring him is under more pressure because he hired two guys from basically within.
Yeah, Dan Campbell is maybe the guy that you could almost argue to be over Goff as well. Because as a whole, like we talk about this window stuff with the Lions, like you don't get many shots at this. You don't get a ton of chances to go to the Super Bowl. And they had that, maybe their 2 seasons ago was their best chance with how easy the path was to get to at halftime of the NFC Championship game. You know, not easy, but it was right there in front of your face.
I was searching plane tickets.
Oh, yeah.
It was over.
I was celebrating. I hate even thinking about that time, dude, because I was being a stupid fan. I was celebrating the Lions being up by that much. Like you said, looking at Super Bowl stuff. And I just feel like that comes into play with the head coach of the team, right? Everything always falls on the head coach, no matter what. And like you said, especially when both of the coordinators that replaced the two guys that go get head coaching jobs, two of the best in the league last year, were internal hires, essentially. Morton obviously was with Denver last year, but was a Dan Campbell guy in the Lions before that. So, yeah, I would think Campbell for sure is got to be second on this list.
But at the end of the day, the player's got to play. And Campbell's going to trust Jared Goff, like, more than any of us do. I think that's pretty clear. He's going to treat Jared Goff like he's the best quarterback in the league, which I don't think is a bad way to treat your coach, especially considering how Jared Goff was treated at his previous stop. and how that panned out. You got to pump confidence into your guys, and that's what Dan Campbell's thrives at. The only issue there is Jared Goff capable of putting, like, can you really put the win-loss record and the fate of the team on Jared Goff's back and expect him to deliver? We're going to find out, because at the end of the day, I just think there's more on his plate this year than there has been in the years past, when you've had the elite play caller and you had the creativity of a Ben Johnson doing the trick plays. Not to say that those are going away, but at the end of the day, you could also just rely on handing it off to David Montgomery on a 3rd and 1. I don't know if that's still the case with this new offensive line and with Johnny Morton. And again, the contract is just going to hinder your ability to sign other players.
But I also think the case could be made that as far as in Jared Goff's career with the Lions, he's been under more pressure in different situations.
Like when, though?
Like when the trade was made with the Stafford trade.
There was no expectation.
Well, but hear me out. Like when that trade was, exactly, the fact that there was no expectation was like, well, Goff's not, he's a bridge quarterback. He's only going to be here for a year or two. And then once he actually started picking things up after that year one, when they were 1-6 or whatever in year two, after that terrible start before the big win streak that led up to them almost making the playoffs, Goff was basically on pressure alert of like, he's not going to be the Lions quarterback anymore, right? It's a different type of pressure, because this one is about them going to the Super Bowl with him under the helm. But that type was like, is this guy even a starter in the league anymore? You know, that was under a ton of pressure from outside media sources and everything. Like I said, it's a different type, but it was still, maybe that's a even bigger type of pressure. Is this guy even going to have a job in the NFL? You know?
No, I can't get behind that. I think he was playing pretty loosely in terms of, like, there was so much pressure on him prior because he found him, like, the exact situation that we're talking about, he's already been in with the Rams, right, when there was an expectation of, hey, man, you have to kind of, like, if we don't win the Super Bowl, it's your fault. I think the Lions are kind of in that conversation again. Everything else is right. The defense is there. Hutchinson's back. They have the best group of weapons in the NFL. If they don't win a Super Bowl, it's probably because Jared Goff didn't outperform the other quarterback. That, to me, is the definition of the most pressure on this guy in his entire career, dating back to his Los Angeles days. And that was when he hadn't really been, like, paid yet. Now he already has been paid, which makes me think Jared Goff may be under more pressure than any other quarterback in the NFC. Hurts has his Super Bowl. Stafford has his Super Bowl. Daniels is so young that it almost doesn't matter, and if that fails this year, it's going to be put on management for how they surrounded him with all these old guys on the team. Dak, I guess, is always going to have pressure on him because he's a Cowboy.
But does that even count? Yeah, it's just because of the Cowboys, yeah.
Goff, for the expectation that the Lions have this year, I think has more pressure on him than any other quarterback in the NFC.
And I think the big part, too, that probably brings the most in this is the way that things ended last year, you know?
Bad game.
They lost the game because of Goff. It was one of his worst games of his Lions career, and it came in the most important moment. So I think that, like we talked about this, it doesn't really get talked about a lot, which maybe it shouldn't, because Goff overall has been more than anything Lions fans ever expected. But in the game that mattered the most last year against Washington, that was the worst performance we've seen, and it doesn't really get brought up very often.
989-837-6125. We're going to read a bunch of messages when we come back, both Tigers and Lions, but I want to hear from you guys whether or not you think Jared Goff is under more pressure than anyone else in the Lions organization. We'll work in some Tigers texts as well. Hey, summer winding down. You've only got a few more weeks to get to the Great Lakes as they're still warm before they start to cool down here in September. And you guys can explore the Great Lakes shipwrecks and dive into adventure with Dive and Glide. Sign into open water dive courses at diveandglideinc.com. Learn the skills, practice, and get certified. Whether you're a beginner or just brushing up on your skills, they've got the classes to get you underwater with confidence. If you're already a pro, shop the best state-of-the-art gear online. I'm talking fins, regulators, masks, gauges, and more. Visit diveandglideinc.com and gear up for your next underwater adventure. That's diveandglideinc.com, Michigan's home for all things scuba. This is the Ben Bosscher Show on a Monday. Don't go anywhere. Still got a lot of good stuff coming up. Texts, we've got our news to get to, and, of course, our two traditions to close out every show. It's all coming up. Ben Bosscher Show.
The Ben Bosscher Show, built by Bresky Siding and Building Repair on 100.9 The Mitt.
The Loons took 4 of 6 off the Lugnuts last week in their second-to-last final homestand of 2025. And right now, they're riding the momentum of a 4-game win streak ahead of this 12-game road trip coming up starting Tuesday. And it was a really fun week against the Lugnuts in which the Loons got their first walk-off home run since May of 2023.
Pitch to Geloff. Swings and drives it deep to left field. That ball is on its way, and it is gone! Oh, it's been a long time for the Loons to end it on a long ball.
Great Lakes a half game over Lake County for that final playoff spot in the East Division currently. Start a 6-game road series with Wisconsin on Tuesday. First pitch is at 7:40. Pre-game coverage at 7:25 on the Mitt.
Do we have any spray paint?
Why?
I need lots of paint. I'm going to paint the house.
I don't think so.
But it looks bad.
Well, you can't spray paint the house.
And then let's call Brexy Siding and Building Repair. They can do it.
Is your siding looking faded, worn out, or just in need of an update? Call me, Derek Bresky, at Bresky Siding and Building Repair today for all your siding, roofing, and gutter needs.
Hey, did you guys catch anything yet?
Not a thing.
Ah, bummer, neither have we. I'm actually just about to head into town. I'm going to go into Higher Standards Automotive. They got this award-winning service department with amazing technicians and this large parts department in case I want to fix it myself. They got the part there.
Whatever.
No, I'm serious, man. It's out there.
Yeah, just like when you tried to convince me Bigfoot was real.
Ray?
Bigfoot's behind me, isn't he?
Yeah, we got it. Run! Get out! Stop into Higher Standards Automotive, North Eastman Road in Midland, right past the mall.
I'm here with Matt Smith with Modern Realty. All right, Matt, forecast 2025 for us.
Well, in 2025, I believe you're going to see a much more balanced market. We've been in a seller's market for a number of years. We're still not busting at the seams with inventory, but we are seeing the market start to balance out a little bit. That means it's still a really good time to get great value out of your home. But for the buyers out there, it also means that your path to home ownership should be a little bit easier.
At Tommy's Express, you can get your car clean, shiny and dry in just minutes. Our state-of-the-art eco-friendly wash delivers a spotless finish every time. With the Tommy Club app, enjoy unlimited washes or paper wash. Skip the line with license plate recognition and manage everything right from your phone. Fast, clean, and simple. Visit Tommy's Express today and see the difference. Text Clean Car to 86697 for a free works wash.
Offer valid for new guests only. By participating, you consent to receive promotional information text from Tommy's Express. Message and data rates may apply. Message frequency varies.
From the hometown heroes to the college legends to the pros on Sunday, 100.9 The Mitt is your home for wall-to-wall play-by-play coverage. High school football, basketball, and hockey.
Region champions for the first time in school history.
Michigan State football and basketball.
Touchdown, MSU!
The NFL, Thursday, Sunday, and Monday night primetime games. And don't think we forgot about your hometown team, the Great Lakes Loons.
That ball's over and out of here.
100.9 The Mitt.
The Ben Bosscher Show, built by Bresky Siding and Building Repair on 100.9 The Mitt.
989-837-6125. Let's see what Jeremy has to say. Jeremy said, I agree with the guys, especially Kyle in that last segment, saying it's been a weird season for the Tigers, either being the best team or the worst team in baseball on a series-to-series basis. I'll take it a step further. To me right now, it feels more like a relief after a Tigers victory than a celebration.
That's a really good way to put it, honestly. I haven't really thought about it like that. He's so right. I mean, even this game against the Angels, it was like going into Sunday, were we thinking, I think they can win this game, man. Like, it's going to be a big-time win to win this series. No, it was like, they better win this game. They better not lose this game Sunday. You know, that's all I was thinking. And it's just...
And then Montero comes in, it's like, oh, my God, like, there's no way, right?
Yeah,
like, there's no way, right?
It's just, it's really weird to describe how to view the Tigers right now. As a fan, as what we do, like in general, it's a weird situation to be in that, like I said earlier, if you told me in April that this team was going to be 17 games above 500 halfway through August, I would have been ecstatic, right?
Well, even taking it a step further, like going back to Friday, when Vierling hits that 3-run bomb and they take the lead, you're holding your breath the rest of the game.
I mean, they were probably going to almost lose that game. You know, it took a Vierling first homer of the season for them to win it, you know?
And it was like, yes, and even after he hits it, you're just like, praying the bullpen doesn't blow it, as they have continued to do time and time again over the past month or so. So there is a weird feeling when you're watching this team right now of, like, rather than expecting a win, you're almost thankful when they come across wins, which is so weird for a team in first place. I can't remember a season like this for the Tigers. And there's probably someone out there who can.
And it all comes down to the theory that we talked about earlier. Like, did they peak early, you know? They were so hot for so long that, like you mentioned, with the ups and downs of the MLB season, you knew it was coming at some point, and it's lingered on for quite some time now. And obviously the really down spell that they had kind of is hard to forget about.
I think this is more so who they are than what we saw from them in the first half. It's some sort of middle ground, but I think it's closer to this of like, hey, sometimes the offense jumps. Most of the time the bullpen's bad. Sometimes the offense disappears.
But they were so good for so long.
I know.
A bug just flew in my face. It's not like it was just a 10-game stretch that they were really good. It's like, okay, but yeah, this is who they really are. Like, the majority of the season, they've been that really good team.
I know, which is why it's a confusing season.
It is.
It's just getting weirder and weirder. But that was
just go punk the White Sox and Twins, man.
Jeremy, I think you said it better. I don't think we can say it better than that. It feels like a sigh of relief when the Tigers win games now rather than a celebration. That's a great way to put it. You got a texter referring to, I think when we were doing Around the League, I loved what Coach Pete Carroll, said about Geno Smith. Not sure if you guys saw that.
Yeah, I did see that.
What did he say? I saw Geno Smith flipping off a fan.
Yeah, so he
Wait, did he?
The sign, did you see what the sign said that the guy was flipping off?
No.
Well, there was a Seahawks fan holding a sign that said, "Who's a bigger bust, Jamarcus Russell or Geno Smith?" Which obviously is just, it's just a rage bait sign. Geno Smith gives 2 middle fingers to the guy as they run out of the tunnel. So did Max Crosby, by the way, which I thought that was Max Crosby, just the ultimate, guy ever, you know?
That's some good old Raiders football. Yeah. That's what I want to see from Raiders football.
And Pete Carroll was asked post-game, by a media guy, hey, did you see what Geno Smith did? Flipping off that fan, saying, he wasn't, implying, it's Geno Smith's fault, but he only brought up the fact that Geno Smith flipped off the guy. And Pete Carroll just said, well, did you see the sign? And then said, next question.
That's good stuff. That's a veteran coach not really caring about the antics outside of the X's and O's.
Because he knows, Geno's always been a chippy guy, and obviously Max Crosby is a super chippy guy. So those are just how his players are. And I respect Pete Carroll handling that the way he did, because it was a disrespectful sign. It's like Geno Smith went into the crowd and fought the guy, he just kind of said, screw you,
I love it.
Yeah.
Let's normalize players flipping off fans.
Brian Branch doing it to the Packers, in Green Bay. Baker Mayfield doing it when he was in college to the Ohio State sideline. It's just kind of how things go.
Let's get to another one here. This is Ty from Midland. Says, the walk-off was awesome at the Loons game on Friday. I was rocking my vintage 1996 Barry Sanders baseball cut jersey. Had a lot of people comment that they never seen one like that before.
Really?
And then he said, nice socks, Ben. Did I?
You had them, what were them socks you had on? They were Jeff Okuda socks, right?
Well, I don't know if he's talking about the Jeff Okuda socks I had from that, or the fact that I'm just not wearing shoes right now.
No one can see your feet, so you just didn't even need to say that. But
I think he was talking about the Jeff Okuda socks.
Yes, he was talking about
who also plays for the Vikings.
Which I was kind of shocked when I saw those, too.
I don't have another pair of Lions socks, and it was grit night, so I was like, I got to go all out. I'll wear a pair of Lions socks. How many people are really going to notice who's on them?
I don't know if this is the jersey you're talking about. Ty, you said this guy's name was? I just searched up Barry Sanders baseball jersey like you talked about. If this is the right one, this pinstripe looking one, super sick jersey. I
love a good crossover jersey in sports.
I have a I have a Cassius Winston football jersey.
What?
Michigan State Cassius Winston football jersey, which was by accident. But
what do you mean it was by accident?
It's a big meme, though. I love wearing it because it's just kind of hilarious.
How did you accidentally?
So I asked for it for Christmas when I was I think this would have been my senior year in high school. No, probably my junior year. My mom, who probably this shout out to my mom, by the way. Probably didn't know who Cassius Winston was, other than the fact he played for Michigan State, right? So you go to buy a jersey, buy it off some bootleg website, and you just see Cassius Winston, number 5, Michigan State. Okay, this is the one.
Oh, that's good.
It was a football jersey, not a basketball jersey. But I have it, and it's honestly kind of fun to wear. I think it's kind of funny.
That is good.
Yeah.
That's really good.
But it was an awesome home run and walk-off Friday. Yes, that was probably the funnest Loons game of the year.
That's the funnest Loons game I think I've ever worked.
Yeah, honestly. I mean,
a walk-off home run, that doesn't happen.
And everything leading up to it, too, like Hainline's homer in the 8th to tie it up, and then they go to extras, give up a couple runs, and then still win. Like, that was on a Friday night of all things, too, and a packed crowd. Like, that was such a fun time.
On grit night, nonetheless.
Yes. It was a gritty win, some could say.
And I think there's no way grit night's not coming back.
Gritty Loons, some are saying?
Potentially. In the midst of a playoff race right now, some are saying. Dwayne says, hey, you're a Kerry Carpenter hater saying you're selling your stock on him, yet you want to buy Riley Green stock, and he had a way worse bad streak than Kerry with the game on the line. I trust Kerry over Green. Yeah, but that's kind of how the stock market works. When guys are hot,
right.
You think this is...
Which took a while to figure out, but...
No.
That is how it works, yes.
I don't know. I just think Kerry's not going to hit 382 the rest of the season. That's
he also
all I'm
calls
saying.
you a Green cheerleader.
Like a Riley Green cheerleader?
Are you a Riley Green cheerleader, you think? I mean, he's
at
maybe
my
the
heart,
best player on his favorite team. That's kind of fair to be a cheerleader of that guy.
I think at the end of the day, like, I love this job. I know there's some responsibility on it, and I don't take it lightly. But at my core, I'm a fan of this team, and I want all the same things that you guys want. So, yes, of course I love Riley Green. Does it infuriate me how often he strikes out in some of these at-bats and how uncompetitive they are? Yeah, it does. And I think it should infuriate anyone. But at the end of the day, I want this guy to succeed.
Yeah.
So if you want to call me a cheerleader for that, I guess
this is
go for it.
This is how you answer the question. You're buying a Tigers jersey right now. What player are you buying?
Riley Green.
Exactly.
Not Tarek Skubal. Sorry. I need to see him sign before I buy it. Because there's no question about Riley. Like, Riley Green's not signing anywhere else. He's going to be a Tiger after he gets his contract extension, whenever that comes. Tarek Skubal, I don't know. I have no idea. Unfortunately. 989-837-6125. We still got our news to get to. We've still got our 2 traditions to get to. You guys can throw in a couple more Mitt messages. We'll get those throughout the course of the rest of the show. But with that being said, I do think, Kyle, it's almost time for us to hit the news. But before we do it, I got to tell everyone about Aaron Insurance. They understand that not everyone's insurance needs are the same. They want to work personally with you to create something best suited for your needs, not anybody else's. Life, home, auto, fiscal, it's all available with Farm Bureau Arid. Arid, the team's got over 100 years of combined experience. They know exactly how to put you in the best position possible. Kind of like how Ben Johnson knew how to put Jared Goff in the best position possible. Now Ben Johnson's gone, and I wonder if Jared Goff has more pressure on him because of that. The experience matters. That's why Arid Farm Bureau Insurance is the way to go. This is the way to go. The Ben Bosscher Show on 100.9 The Mitt. We'll be right back.
The Ben Bosscher Show, built by Bresky Siding and Building Repair on 100.9 The Mitt.
I'm Sarah Stockford, host of 100.9 The Mitt Success Suite, a podcast highlighting the most inspiring female leaders across the Great Lakes Bay region. This month, we spoke with Allie Huntoon, the director and founder of Allied HR Solutions and Allied Group Fitness.
Lean on people I trust to help me get through things too. If I know that I'm overwhelmed or I need support with something, I usually try to reach out. Sometimes I'm still trying to do things all myself. Yep. And that's a learning curve too. Delegation is your friend. Yep. I'm learning that.
So something I definitely do.
So I think it's leaning on your team. I think it's putting things into perspective. Even though HR is very important and we have things all the time that come up with terminations or discrimination or harassment.
Listen to the full interview with Allie on YouTube on 100.9 The Mitt. Subscribe and hit the notification button to be alerted when new episodes drop. That's Success Suite with Sarah Stockford.
You have better things to do than to job hunt or scramble to find your next great hire. So let Spherion do it. We say local is our superpower because we live and work where you live and work. We know the local job market. We're here in person. And we're locally owned, so you won't find a partner who's more engaged and literally invested in your success. If you're ready for something better, start with Spherion. Visit us online at Spherion.com to find your local Spherion office. Let's get to work.
At Aird Insurance Group, they're more than just policies. They're your trusted partners in protecting what matters most.
Whether it's auto, home, life, or business insurance, their team takes the time to understand your needs and find the best coverage for your unique situation.
With personalized service and unbeatable rates, Aird Insurance Group makes protecting your future easy.
Call Aird Insurance Group today and see why their clients trust them to keep them covered.
Aird Insurance Group.
The experience matters.
Celebrate the 75th anniversary of a Peanuts Christmas with the Great Lakes Loons on Friday, August 29th. Relive the heartwarming classic in a festive atmosphere filled with nostalgia and holiday cheer. The team will also wear Peanuts-inspired jerseys that fans can bid on during a live online auction. For tickets, head to loons.com. This isn't just baseball. This is the Great Lakes Loons, everyone's hometown team. You want sports takes? You want local voices that own the mic?
Yeah.
We've got them on Sports Radio 100.9 The Mitt. It kicks off at 6 a.m. with Anthony Bellino on Spin on Sports.
Rise and shine.
From 9 to noon, don't miss Michigan's newest sports show, The Ben Bosscher Show.
Hey, remember that.
At noon, you get America's smartest sports takes, The Herd with Colin Cowherd.
I want Shador to play.
And at 3, the one and only Bill Simonson and The Huge Show. This is where real fans stay locked in. 100.9 The Mitt.
Hey, I'm Ben Bosscher.
And I'm Kyle Sandel.
And the two of us are live every weekday on 100.9 The Mitt at 9 a.m. until noon, giving you opinions on the teams that you care about the most.
The Lions, Tigers, Red Wings, Pistons, those teams.
And a whole lot more. Whether we're breaking down a game from the night before, debating the biggest news from the day, or doing a draft or spread picks, we're always having fun. I mean, come on, it's our job to talk about sports. How could we not be having fun?
So if the big games aren't enough for you, if you're a real diehard fan, this show is going to be perfect for you. You can count on us to be your morning sports outlet every day.
The Ben Bosscher Show with Ben Bosscher and Kyle Sandel on 100.9 The Mitt.
Local sports don't stop when the game ends, and neither do we. 100.9 The Mitt is your digital home for the latest news across the state of Michigan. From high school to college and the pros, it's all on our socials. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. Just search 100.9 The Mitt and join the squad. Stay locked in on the latest stats and stories with exclusive video takes from local talent. Sports Radio 100.9 The Mitt.
Sportsmanship has never been more important between the lines in athletics and outside those lines in our communities. To listen, to respect, to understand, to practice common decency, to have competition without contentiousness. Sportsmanlike qualities are essential components of life itself. Let's all work together to not only be good sports, but good people. A message from the Michigan High School Athletic Association, promoting the value and values of educational athletics.
The Ben Bosscher Show, built by Bresky Siding and Building Repair on 100.9 The Mitt.
All right, before we hit the news, let's do a little housekeeping. I hate to do it, but, you know, you got to a little bit. Thank you. We said last week the goal is to be at 300 subscribers on YouTube by the end of the week. Right now we're at 282. We've gone up a good amount today. So if you haven't already, please go ahead to the YouTube page, hit subscribe, share it to a friend, tell a friend about the show, tell them that they can watch it on YouTube. If you're typically someone who listens in your car, when you get to wherever you're trying to go, whether you're at work, just throw it up on a monitor on your phone. You guys can listen along live on YouTube as well. Goal is to be at 300 by the end of the week, which would be fantastic. Again, 300, nothing crazy. We're not going viral or anything, but watching the show grow has been awesome over the past couple of months since the show has launched. So we appreciate everyone who has already subscribed on there because it does help us get the content out to everyone else across the state who wants good old-fashioned, non-rage bait, non-clickbait takes. We don't have clickbait takes, do we?
Maybe you're just a clickbait guy, you know? Like, maybe that you're just, like, at heart, you know?
Me?
Yeah, like,
I was going to say, I don't think we do
like,
that very often.
But, like, maybe you're not doing it on purpose. You just kind of feel some type of way about certain things.
I just try to be honest. I try to give genuine thoughts.
Yeah, I'm happy about that.
Thanks, man. 989-837-6125. With that being said, let's hit the news.
The Mitt's Morning Catch.
Okay. Let's
Okay.
get back into the news and hit the things that we didn't get to earlier. First off, the Pistons with some breaking news mid-show. Wait, what? They have signed forward Javonte Green to a deal this season. Played with both the Cavs and Pelicans last season. Played for the Bulls for the majority of the start of his career. He's like a 6'4" power forward, if that gives you any idea of kind of the role he plays. Defensive-minded guy, really good lob catcher and dunker for being just 6'4". Going to get a ton of rebounds for being undersized. Yeah, he's just going to be a glue guy for the Pistons this season. Can't really shoot, though.
Yeah, somewhat problematic. He'll
Right.
have some sort of carved-out role. I don't imagine him being anything but a 10th man, though.
Yeah, no, he's not going to play a ton of games. But he is like a good guy to have on the roster. So maybe would have preferred a guy that could stretch the floor a little bit more, like George's Niang. But that's nonetheless not important. So yeah, that's the news there.
Wait, you're talking about the minivan?
Yeah, the minivan. Yeah. Okay. We got some NFL news. The Patriots are to unveil the Tom Brady statue ahead of their preseason home opener this upcoming weekend.
I thought they already did reveal it.
Well, but they're going to, make it there to the public, since they're having a game there.
Isn't it already, open? What do you mean they're going to reveal it to
I
the
don't
public?
know, dude.
I thought the statue was outside of the stadium.
Look, dude, this is just what The Athletic told me, man, okay?
I'm looking at a picture of him standing next to the statue outside of Gillette Stadium. What
They're doing
what are they
it,
doing?
It's there for games now, it's their first game with it there.
I don't like this statue. It should have just been him wearing all of his rings. I don't know why he's just has a fist up in the air.
That would have been a good sell today.
The Tom Brady statue, or just all statues?
Statues?
No, I don't think all statues are bad,
though.
but they've just been making bad ones recently. Nothing will be worse than the Dwayne Wade one.
Yeah, it's a bad statue. Yeah, actually, the Dirk statue was pretty sick, though.
I don't like
the
this
fadeaway
Tom
thing.
Brady one's weird.
It is weird. It doesn't look very great. I would agree with that one. Speaking
It's
of guys
huge,
who,
though. Oh my God, I didn't realize how big it was.
how big is it?
Tom Brady doesn't even go up to Tom Brady's knee. His
What?
head is facing his knee.
Oh, jeez.
It's enormous.
Okay. Moving on to some baseball news. Maybe a guy that'll get a statue someday. Who knows? Justin Verlander got his 3,500th career strikeout yesterday for San Francisco. The only other active guys with 3K strikeouts in the MLB are Clayton Kershaw and Max Scherzer. And I don't know if you saw this, Ben, but those two faced off against each other in a matchup this weekend. Kershaw versus Scherzer. That was pretty cool. But
Where would Justin Verlander get a statue?
was just trying to make a segue, dude.
You don't think he'd get one in Comerica, right?
No, he won't. It was mainly just a joke.
But Miggy does.
Yeah,
I think
of
Miggy ends up with a statue out in the outfield. I don't think
He better.
I don't think Justin Verlander does.
No, I don't think so either. But will he go into Hall of Fame as an Astro or Tiger, though? That's the real
Probably an Astro, right? He's got the series with them.
and he won the Cy Young with him.
Yeah, it's probably the Astros, unfortunately.
It is very
Take him. We'll take Miguel.
Right. You talked about this earlier. You're out on the Little League World Series, huh?
It's just weird. It's just, I know there's just way too many politics and weird coaches and parents trying to do some sketchy stuff involved. It's just an odd, move on. Odd.
I have some news
formats.
to give for it. Am I allowed to at least give the news
Yes.
on what's going on?
Yes.
In the Little League Softball World Series, which we had on the TV yesterday during the Loons game, Pennsylvania winning their first Little League Softball World Series since 1978. So shout out to the state of Pennsylvania for taking that in softball. Golf news.
Sure.
Golf news. You said there was no golf this weekend. You'd be wrong.
Well, there wasn't important golf.
Justin Rose took the FedEx St. Jude Championship to a playoff against J.J. Spawn and got his first PGA Tour win of 2025. where they went to a couple playoff holes, birdied the first one together. It was pretty good, but Justin Rose pulls it out. Scotty Scheffler and Tommy Fleetwood both finished just a stroke short of also going to a playoff with them, so it came down to the wire. Fleetwood, though, once again, just cannot get himself a PGA Tour win. He's Mr. Runner-Up. I think we said 13 runner-ups or something like that without any PGA Tour wins ever for Fleetwood. Pretty tough. But Justin Rose getting his first win of the year.
He's like Jerry West for the longest time.
Yeah, like Jerry West. NBA news. We found out what the opening day and Christmas Day slates are going to be this season, Ben. Opening day, Rockets Thunder and Warriors Lakers. Yes, once again, LeBron versus Steph Curry played out for the 20th, 100th time because we just continue to do this.
Wait, say that again?
Rockets v. Thunder.
Thunder.
So KD versus the Thunder. You know, that's like the storyline there.
I like that. Those I think are the two best regular season teams in the West.
And OKC is going to, unveil the banner and trophy ceremony and everything with KD there.
On Christmas or opening day?
Opening day.
Oh, I thought you were doing Christmas games.
I'm going to do that after.
No, that's fantastic then, because I think those teams are they're the two. It's the defending champs versus the team that is replicated, and I think it's the closest to the defending champs.
Plus, they have the storyline of Kevin Durant.
Yes,
having to watch the Thunder hang a banner, where he grew up there.
And then you said it's Lakers Warriors.
Yeah, which is just look, I love, and maybe it's just because this could be LeBron's last year, so that's why they really want to do it.
It's not.
We've done this every year, dude. The Steph versus LeBron happens every year at the start of the season. Can we switch it up a little bit?
I don't think this is LeBron's last year, but what would you want?
Lakers Mavs?
Yeah, you're right. That'd be better.
It would absolutely be better.
With Cooper Flag, too.
And we didn't even get Lakers Mavs on Christmas either. The biggest fumble ever, I think, for the NBA, not to have LeBron and AD back together. Luka versus the Dallas team again. Cooper Flag against LeBron. None of that happening is crazy to me.
Is it Lakers Warriors again on Christmas?
No, it is Lakers Rockets actually on Christmas. Out of the 5 games, Ben, 4 of them come from the Western Conference on the NBA's Christmas Day. Only 1 Eastern Conference game, that being Cavaliers at Knicks, because the Knicks obviously are always going to play on Christmas. The Cavs probably going to be the best team in the East regular season-wise this year. At least you would think so. Boston not playing on Christmas this year for the first time in so many years because Jason Tatum's going to be hurt. They're kind of in an off year this year, expected to be. You have the battle of, the young star in Victor Wembanyama and the Spurs playing against the Thunder. That's pretty fun, right? Wemby versus the reigning champs. Chet v. Wemby's always fun. So that's going to be a good one on Christmas. Rockets at Lakers, like I said. Sure, KD versus LeBron. That's fine, I guess. Mavs at Warriors is the matchup, which, I don't know. Do the Mavericks have to be on Christmas if they're not playing against...
No, they don't.
Against LeBron?
They don't.
Or against the Lakers? If it was Mavs-Lakers, they could have done it, but I don't get why they're on Christmas. That's just kind of me. Warriors I get because of Steph, for sure.
Back-to-back, no Giannis. No Nuggets?
Well,
Wait, did you say no Nuggets?
One more.
Oh.
Timberwolves at Nuggets.
Oh,
which that's a fun one,
awesome.
for sure, because they played in Western Conference Finals a couple years ago. Really good matchup there. But yeah, notable teams on here. No Giannis is kind of wild.
2 consecutive years. I mean, the Bucks are terrible.
They're not going to be terrible. They'll be a playoff team.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, you're right.
No, Indiana Pacers went to the finals last year. Yeah, I get Halliburton's out for the year. They also went to the finals last year. It just kind of seems a little
come
wild.
on. Even if Halliburton was there, I don't think they're playing in this.
That would have been crazy if they weren't. No Pistons. Sorry, Pistons fans. I know that we all wanted to see them on Christmas, but we won't be.
Well, we already got the Lions. That would have been too much. I would have been overstimulated.
Right.
I would have been overstimulated on Christmas
Forgot
if we
about
had Pistons and Lions. My family would have hated me.
What
Be like,
other
Ben,
team-
come join us for Christmas dinner. No!
No, I'm staying home, actually. I'm not even coming for Christmas. I just want to watch sports. Is there any other teams that got snubbed at Christmas Day? I'm just thinking about them right now. Bucks, obviously.
I don't even think the Bucks got snubbed.
The Sixers, potentially.
No,
I'm
they
just
don't deserve to be
thinking
on
of teams,
I think it's all the right teams.
The Clippers, maybe? Yeah, you're probably right. It's probably all the right groups of teams there. All right. That's going to close things for the news.
989-837-6125. We've got 2 traditions to close out every show. The first of those being the lock of the day. The second of those being guessing Colin Cowherd's Open. We will get to those momentarily. Before we get to those, I think Kyle and I, we have to make some sort of appointment to go golfing at some point this week. And what better place to tee up than Sandy Ridge Golf Course, Midland's hidden gem, where every round feels like a little bit of a getaway. Now featuring a brand new clubhouse, part lounge, part hangout, and all class, perfect for cooling down or talking smack after 18. Smooth greens, scenic fairways, and enough birdies to make all of your buddies jealous. Whether you're a weekend warrior or just there for the vibes, Sandy Ridge brings the game and the chill. Book a tee time or you plan your outing or just stop by and pretend you know how to read a green. Sandy Ridge Golf Course, the hidden gem that's way too good to stay a secret. This is Ben Bosscher Show live on 100.9 The Mitt. We'll be right back.
The Ben Bosscher Show, built by Bresky Siding and Building Repair on 100.9 The Mitt.
It's the Scholar Athlete of the Month, proudly presented by Fisher Companies here on Sports Radio 100.9 The Mitt. This month's recipient is Scarlett Mason from Standish Sterling High School. With a 4.3 GPA, Scarlett's a member of the track and field team and a state champion in swimming. Scarlett, a member of the National Honor Society, and PALS, a student support group.
We get qualified, and then we are someone that if a student is uncomfortable talking to an adult, they can come talk to us about what's going on at home or whatever they're struggling with. The biggest thing was it raised mental health awareness, and I think that's huge in high school.
Scarlett will be attending and swimming at Wayne State in the fall. To hear the full interview and nominate a local athlete for our scholarship program, visit 1009themitt.com.
Hey sports fans, heading up north? Whether you're gearing up for the big game, hosting friends, or winding down after a long day, Hops and Schnapps is your ultimate beverage destination. With one of the largest selections of beer, wine, and spirits in Michigan featuring over 1,000 options from around the globe, we're your beverage experts. Plus, our friendly team is here to help you find the perfect pick. Visit us in Standish, Grayling, and Gaylord today. Hops and Schnapps, raise your glass, raise your spirits.
When someone asks me, when is the best time to start saving for retirement, my answer is simple: today. I'm Kevin Spencer, your Midland Edward Jones financial advisor. I can help you build a plan for your ideal retirement by identifying your unique goals and keep you on track to achieve them. The sooner you get started, the better.
Edward Jones financial advisor Kevin Spencer at 416 West Wackerly in Midland, under the green awning. Edward Jones, making sense of investing. Member SIPC.
Celebrate the 75th anniversary of a Peanuts Christmas with the Great Lakes Loons on Friday, August 29th. Relive the heartwarming classic in a festive atmosphere filled with nostalgia and holiday cheer. The team will also wear Peanuts-inspired jerseys that fans can bid on during a live online auction. For tickets, head to loons.com. This isn't just baseball. This is the Great Lakes Loons, everyone's hometown team.
The Ben Bosscher Show is brand new, and to celebrate, we want to make sure one listener is a big winner every Wednesday.
That's what this is all about. It always has been about.
Every Wednesday this summer at 10:15 a.m., we're giving away 2 tickets to your favorite Major League Baseball team, the Detroit Tigers. This is your chance to head to Comerica Park on us, and thanks to our friends over at Garber Chevrolet Midland. Again, Detroit Tigers tickets every Wednesday at 10:15 a.m. on the Ben Bosscher Show on 100.9 The Mitt.
From Midland to Bay City, Saginaw to Sanford, from Frankenmuth, Freeland, and Hemlock to Auburn, Essexville, and Pinconning, 100.9 The Mitt is the heartbeat of the Great Lakes Bay region, and proud of it. We're your home for local sports, local stories, and local pride. Whether you're in Birch Run, Beaverton, Gladwin, Chesaning, or Coleman, football, basketball, hockey, Spartans, NFL, Loons, all right here. 100.9 The Mitt, Mid-Michigan's sports leader.
I'm Ben Bosscher, and here's what I think. I think the Detroit Lions are going to be worse this season, but still go 12-5 and win the NFC North. I think the Minnesota Vikings are the biggest threat to steal the NFC North from the Detroit Lions. I think we got to taper back our expectations for Bryce Underwood, with him being an 18-year-old freshman and all. I think the lack of aggression from Scott Harris at the MLB trade deadline is going to haunt the Tigers for years to come. And I think you should listen to the Ben Bosscher Show weekdays from 9 to noon on 100.9 The Mitt, built by Bresky Siding and Building Repair, if you agree or disagree with anything I just said.
Bel Air Brown, Dragon's Milk, Mad Hatter, Purple Gang, and Huma Loopalicious. These are names that let the imagination run wild. and let the taste buds take a stroll. Welcome to the craft beer craze in Michigan. Bolstered by the Great Lakes and nurtured by the glacier-rich soil, here awaits a brewer's paradise. With fresh hops growing tall in the old Mission Peninsula and fresh barley fields sweeping the mitten, Michigan ranks 5th in the nation in the number of breweries, microbreweries, and brew pubs. From Good Harbor Golden to Whitefish Bay Wheat, from Motown Lager all the way to Park Bench Porter, Michigan is serving up a frosty glass of perfection. Whether you want to take in a game with a Two-Hearted Ale or just sit on a front porch sipping a Steelhead Red, let's tap into life at its fullest and treat ourselves to a taste that's pure Michigan. Your trip begins at Michigan.org.
The Ben Bosscher Show, built by Bresky Siding and Building Repair on 100.9 The Mitt.
All right, we've got two traditions to close out the Ben Bosscher Show. Monday's no exception. The first of those is our Lock of the Day.
Lock of the Day.
You better lock it up. No, you lock it up. Lock it up. Lock it up. Lock it up.
All right. Guess what? We hit a bet on Friday. We had the Patriots to cover their 6.5. They actually smoked the Commanders by about 30, 40 points. So we're back in the win column.
Yes, you are. Sorry, I was getting my spreadsheet pulled up.
No, you're good.
Back in the win column after losing 6 days in a row, Ben. But you are in the win column, yes. You were minus 110 on that bet, so you went up 0.9 units last week. You do lose the week, though, so you're 3-7 through the 10 weeks of this show now. Wow, look at that. Already 10 weeks in. Minus 18.1 units all time, and your record is 13-33-1.
That's pretty good.
Fresh, yeah, dude, that's pretty good, honestly. Fresh start though today. Fresh start today.
Okay. Fresh start today. Fresh week. Still can. What did you say the record was in August?
You just got your first one right in August yesterday, so you're 1-5 in August so far.
Okay.
Through the 6 shows.
Well, like I said, we're just waiting for football season to start, and I think we're going to do a lot better. Baseball has been not so kind to us, but we don't have any options today other than to do baseball. So I'm going with, I'm not going to overthink this. The Dodgers are playing the Angels. The Dodgers absolutely own the Angels. Since 2020, they are 19-8 straight up against this Angels team. And of those 19 wins, they've covered the run line 17 times. They've got their ace on the mound today. I like the odds that they're giving you. It's minus 110, so essentially even odds for your ace pitcher against a team that you dominate. Let's go with the Dodgers who run line on this. I don't need to give some crazy explanation. I like the odds. I like the minus 110. Dodgers own the Angels. Not overthink it. In or out?
Yeah. I don't mind this one. I don't know if I'm in or out because the Dodgers run line for you last week did not hit. So it's like hasn't really been the play for you. The Dodgers starting pitching, though, is getting healthy now, which is pretty huge for them.
Their aces on the mound.
Yeah. I mean, Yamamoto is back. Kershaw has been pitching really well lately. These other moves that they made have definitely set their starting rotation back to be better. So they're probably due to start going on a bit of a tear of wins. So I think that could kind of start today. I could get behind that. Sure, I'll tail. Why not, huh?
We're hot right now.
Yeah.
So.
By the way, I did the math. 28% win percentage for you all time.
Hey, it doesn't matter the win percentage as long as we're up all time in the units
not.
Up. I know.
18 down to be precise.
17 after today. 17 after today. We got to stay up a little bit later for this one with it being a West Coast game, but in the morning we'll look and we'll pick up a win and we'll be down 17 units. Then we just got to build some momentum for this week and try to chip away. You know, that's
all
the
leading
new,
up to football season.
That's the new strategy. Chip away. There's no need to go all in on one of these bets until we get a little greedy and maybe use some momentum to get hot first. But just chip away. Easy chips. Chipping game good these days, you know. Okay, with that being said, that was our Lock of the Day.
Lock of the Day.
You better lock it up. No, you lock it up. Lock it up. Lock it up. Lock it up.
The other tradition we have is to predict what Colin Cowherd is going to open with. I believe I got a point on Friday.
Yes.
With Colin not even doing his show.
No. Finally, the Cowboys Micah Parsons thing was led with. It took like 3 weeks. One of us guessed it, I think, every single day. Never happened. And, of course, it takes a day that Colin isn't there when Doug Gottlieb is filling in, taking a break from getting ready for his upcoming basketball season, to fill in and talk about the Cowboys. So, yeah, you're up 12-7 right after I ripped a point on Thursday, too. So we've hit on back-to-back days now. Just trying to keep the streak going.
I got us. Don't worry.
Wow, you do.
I know whose turn is it to go first.
Today would be your turn, Ben, because today is episode 49 of the show, which means tomorrow's episode 50. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, it's crazy. There's a lot of different routes you can go with this. It could just be a random quarterback. I don't know what his biggest takeaway from the weekend would be. It might just be Shedeur.
Yeah, there is a lot of options today, for sure.
But then again, this streaming stuff, I think has some legs to it.
UFC? You think that gets led with?
I know he tweeted it.
Ooh, is that cheating, looking at his Twitter?
No. I don't think
Someone
that's
let me know
cheating.
if that's cheating in the comments.
It's not. I don't know. There's not like one quarterback performance that stuck out other than Shedeur, but that's totally possible for him to do Shedeur Sanders talk, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
I just went to Colin's Twitter because you claimed that I was cheating, and I refused to believe that. Guess what the Herd's pinned tweet is? It's Bill Simmons joining the pod, or joining the show.
How long ago? Or is it like he's joined the show today?
March.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Kind of crazy.
Man, he's just got motion.
I guess. I don't feel good about this, but I think I'm going to do Shedeur.
Okay.
I
think I would have taken that if you didn't use it. So that's probably a good pick. You know what I was actually surprised he didn't lead with last week? Because he was on all four of the 5 days last week. I'm surprised he never led with none of that WNBA stuff. That seems like something that he would have done.
The thing with the objects being thrown onto the floor?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm kind of surprised he didn't do that. Okay, I'm going to take a different NFL player. I would have taken Shedeur. I think that would have been a good lead. I don't think he quite goes UFC route, but it is like the most recent news. So he might do that, and I think that'd be kind of cool if he did that, but I'm not going to predict it. I'm actually going to go with Shedeur Sanders' ex-teammate. I think he leads with Travis Hunter today, Ben. I think we go with a little Travis Hunter. Yeah, it's kind of a little out of the box here.
Jaguars to open?
It's about Travis Hunter, just about, he made his debut. He did play both. He missed that tackle. Oh, I can't believe he did that. Just the same way he's going to do with Shedeur if he does lead with him, just a reactionary type open, and then it will somehow segue into something else. So I'm going to go with Travis Hunter today. I don't feel super good about it, but I don't know what else maybe McCarthy playing, but he didn't do anything crazy.
I think if there's another route, it's Jordan Love.
You think Love? I mean, he literally only played 3 plays.
He loves Jordan Love.
Well, Jordan Love didn't play good.
I know. That's part of the reason to talk about him. It's like, hey, is this a red flag that Jordan Love didn't play very well? And then you can talk about the receivers and how this is an overrated team, but then he'll pick them to be really good.
Right, yeah, exactly. As far as non-NFL stuff goes, though, not really a ton, right, to pick from?
From today solely, no. The UFC thing's the biggest thing, and I guess you can kind of throw that all together with just streaming in general. And
yeah,
how
it could
far
connect
that's
to
come
the
along.
ESPN thing as well. But once again, it's just I don't know how much he wants to talk about other networks on his show. That's the only part he'd be talking about 2 with ESPN and Paramount. I don't know how much he'd love doing that. So I'll go with Travis Hunter. You're going with Shedeur Sanders. It's 12-7. You have the lead.
These Colorado boys.
Yeah, man.
Really coming along.
Maybe a little Dion connect. What if he talks about both of them? He could do that.
Just the Colorado
guys?
Yeah,
there's
the
a
Dion
chance.
disciples.
Both get a point type? That'd be cool.
Yeah, we'd have to both get a point, right?
That's never happened. We've never both gotten a point on the same day. So
somehow we'd both be wrong, but we'd both be right at the same time.
Yeah, we would both be right, though. We'd be nice. Each give us a point.
You looking forward to this Tigers series this week? The 7:40 starts?
Well, I don't know. I am looking forward to it, but at the same time, it's
it's better than the 10 o'clock starts.
No, when they play these bad teams, it's almost like an expectation of they better sweep them. So if they lose any of the games, then it becomes a disappointment, kind of how we talked about earlier when it's a sigh of relief rather than excitement. So I don't know. These series against the bad teams, I almost dislike them just because, yeah, they're supposed to win. It's the White Sox. They suck. And then when they inevitably lose game 2 or something, it's just going to be a weird situation.
It's just a lose-lose situation because if you don't crush them, it's not you don't win.
This isn't a playoff team. Yeah.
And if you lose, you lost. But yeah, I also think like the Tigers are at a point right now where we know who they are. It'd be pretty alarming if they lost this division despite us floating that around last week. Like they still got a pretty comfortable lead. And it's not like Cleveland can stay this hot, I don't think. But then again, you never really know. So we shall see. I'm looking forward to this series. We've got 7 o'clock, 7:40, 7:40, and then 2:10. I do not like the 2:10 start. That's very weird to me.
Why not?
I'd rather it just be 1.
Well, it's a central time zone.
Yeah, no, I understand why.
Well, then
I just don't like it.
Oh.
I don't like them starting an hour later. I think it just kind of like it's weird. So then the games are going to end at like 10:30.
Weird how time zones work.
Yep, that's what I was thinking. All right, we'll be back tomorrow. Should have a couple guests on as well. We'll be back on Wednesday, Thursday. Wednesday, we'll give away more Tigers tickets. So make sure to tune in then. Send the stream to someone if you haven't already. Send the Ben Bosscher Show link on YouTube to someone if you haven't already. We'd appreciate it. Get them to subscribe. And follow us on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook as well. Got some awesome content going up on there throughout the course of the week. Like I said, we will be back tomorrow. Appreciate everyone for tuning in today. Appreciate all our listeners, as always. Only one more Loon series left a couple weeks from now, so make sure to come to Down Diamond. Then, Ben Bosscher Show, 100.9 The Mitt.
The Ben Bosscher Show, built by Bresky Siding and Building